This week's episode of the Co-optional Podcast is proudly sponsored by Squarespace. Get 10% off your first order at squarespace.com/cooptional. Create your own professional-looking website with no prior knowledge required at squarespace.com/cooptional. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-optional Podcast. It is the 3rd of Feb. Yes, you Americans and your weird dates are the wrong way round. It's confusing. I'll never get used to that. Yeah.
February 3rd.
Is it? Yes, it's February 3rd, yes. It says 2-3,
Yes.
which to me would be the 2nd of March. But unfortunately, you guys do it backwards, and I don't know why.
2315.
Yeah, that made things a lot easier. Thank you. That
215.
Yes. That sounds like you're advertising for some kind of AM radio station, which is not okay.
99.3215.
Ew,
Hey.
the weasel. Yeah. I want a radio station called The Weasel. It's that simple. Like, why can't I have one? I suppose we could set one up.
What does the weasel sound? Like the...
That's more like a
weasel.
bird, I think, isn't
I was
it?
gonna say, that sounded...
Ka-ka-ka the weasel.
Ka-ka-ka?
No, it goes... Waka-ka-ka! Waka-ka-ka! The weasel.
Weasels don't sound like that in any way. Come on.
I don't know.
You don't know what a weasel sounds
bet-
like? We're going to find
bet
out what a weasel
would
sounds
sound
like.
like that if it could.
All right, I'm going to
The
look up this playtime of Ozzy the Weasel. Weasel sounds. Okay, we're going to look this up. A California long-tailed weasel right here.
And cue. Waka-ka-ka!
I bet it's not. I bet it doesn't sound anything like that. I bet it doesn't sound a damn thing like that. Let's see.
I'm just saying.
And out of the corner of his eye identified this strange creature.
No, that's not the sound of a weasel, actually. We're working. It's very
There
hard.
you go. See?
Why
You
is
tried
it
to
so
look
hard
for
to find the
weasel,
sound
what
of a
you heard? Not a
weasel?
weasel, because I know weasels. Look, I know weasels. If there's one thing I know, it's weasels.
Oh, aha! There we go. That's the sound of a weasel. It doesn't sound anything like that. They just kind of squeak a bunch.
I've been playing Suikoden 2 on the Vita, and they have you talk to the animals, and they have like the Japanese phonetics because the translation was so poorly done that they left in all the Japanese phonetics.
Right.
So you talk to a horse, and he goes bra 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 bra, and
That's
like,
an accurate translation.
Yeah. You talk to a dog, and he goes biu biu. So these are the sounds that animals make in Japan.
That.
No, that's true. I learned
Well,
that.
I mean,
guys might have
animals
the
do speak in a
weasel
different
nails.
accent in Japan, you know. It's important to know.
who knows? In America, they go waka-ka-ka, and maybe it's different in your
And they make
country.
money symbols, and they make money. They make it rain.
You guys are the worst. What the hell's wrong with you this week? This is even worse than usual. Oh, God. I guess that's our welcome wagon for, I think, one of the first kind of more traditional games media guests we've ever really had on this show. This is traditionally more of a streamer and YouTuber show, but this week we bring along the man with the plan, the fellow who has made a living talking about snacks on a video game website, the one and only Jason Schreier of the official snacktaku.com. Welcome to the show.
Snacks and TV shows.
Snacks
I
and
just
TV
wanna get that
shows
straight.
and watermelon butts in thongs.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, I just want to make something clear, John and Jesse and Dodger. We are not just any site that covers watermelon butts. We are the site that covers watermelon butts.
Watermelon butt website.
I don't know. Did you guys use
Definitive.
Squarespace?
I don't know. If you use
Watermelon
Squarespace, I bet you
If
could
you
make
use
a better
Squarespace,
website
I
about
bet you did
about
good.
watermelon
Yeah.
butts. That could happen. Get it in there, Jesse. Get paid. There you go. But
Get it in there.
you know, I think what would
There's
be
that paycheck.
what would be really interesting actually is to kind of compare, I suppose, the jobs that we do to the job that you do, and it's kind of two sides of this very interesting coin. You've got your more traditional games media coverage, the websites, which are writing a lot every day, and then you've got YouTube, which is producing, like, at least on each individual channel, they're not producing that much Like we maybe make 1 or 2 videos a day at most, and if we make too much, we actually like get really bad diminishing returns. So like, what does a day look like for you when you're writing for a video game website?
It's funny. I mean, every single day is different, which is one of the reasons that I love this job so much. I couldn't imagine going into an office and doing the same thing day after day. Some days I'll get in and there will be a million different things going on, and I'll have to write 10 different short posts about, like, I don't know, all sorts of things. EA announcing the next Battlefield or some Ubisoft game being broken, as always. So
What?
so
Huh?
that'll. I mean, no, never, no, never.
We'd never write something along those lines. That I mean,
No,
that would just be
absolutely not.
untruthful.
But it's actually, I mean, we try to find a good balance, and Steven, my boss, Steven Totella, tries to keep all of the writers pretty balanced so that, like, some days we might be able to take the day off and work on some long form piece of work that is maybe more like a video that you guys do, where it's like it's a long piece of content designed to be read for by people over a long period of time. Or one day we might be writing a whole bunch of short news blasts just because there's a lot of stuff going on. It really depends.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen posts on your website that are basically just an animated GIF and a few lines. I mean, that can't be making a great deal of money. I mean, that's got to be like quantity. It's kind of quantity posts, right? It's the sort of thing that keeps people coming back to the site like multiple times a day just to see some little thing.
Well, I don't know what's making money and what isn't, because one of the things that Kotaku and our parent company, Gawker Media, is very good at is separating the editorial from the ad people, and we really have no interaction with them at all.
Probably for the
But
best.
yeah, which is definitely for the best. But I think the small gift posts, I mean, for some people, there are some readers who like those small little blasts and just like click on Kotaku every half hour just to be entertained and work. And then there's some readers who like the long, thorough,
stuff.
3,000 word investigation pieces. So we try to find a balance and try to do a bunch of stuff. I mean, personally, I think an ideal video game website can have all of that stuff, just like an ideal YouTube channel can have a podcast that talks about silly things and tries to figure out what sounds a weasel makes. As well as in-depth looks
You're
at
welcome,
games.
by the way.
Indeed, absolutely. That's going to be an article on Kotaku later. It's like, we found out what these
We
stupid
found out.
YouTubers didn't know how. We could go BuzzFeed style. 13 sounds a weasel does not make. There
Well,
you
we
go.
got to get some snacks in there. So maybe if there were weasel snacks.
Yeah, so I mean, snack-wise,
And-
like, are you
okay.
saying like maybe 30-40% of your content is about nacho cheese? Is that about right?
That's a good margin
man,
of
I
nacho
wish.
cheese.
That's a good demographic you got there. Like,
I wish.
to be fair, who doesn't like nacho cheese? Like, that's the most diverse demographic you could ever hit. It's like everyone likes this thing. Let's do articles about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's funny. We have this kind of rule of thumb. We sometimes bounce around ideas in our group conversation device. Slack is what we use, and we'll talk about videos. We'll talk about snack ideas, and the rule of thumb is usually if you think something is cool or interesting, and you think our readers would think it's cool and interesting, then just fucking post it. I mean, we're not going to go way out of geek territory, so you won't be seeing us posting about, like, I don't know, celebrity gossip or some of the other stuff that other sites might be posting about. But
Like all
if
of
we
Gawker
see
Media Group.
something like the more gossipy sites on the Gawker Media, we're one of the more geeky sites. I think the company's divided into gossip and geek.
Yes,
Um,
I would say so.
So yeah, but like for a while last year, are you guys fans of 24? Do any of you guys like 24?
I watched
I
like
am.
season 3 and then just got
Yes.
bored of it.
Nope.
It's like,
That's
what
losing
keeps
for me.
happening?
Okay,
You're
well,
wrong. It got better and better. Last season, tactical missiles couldn't even stop Jack Bauer.
It was-
He
it was-
outmaneuvered tactical missiles.
All right,
Exactly.
okay. Now I want to watch it again.
So hear me out. So if 1 out of 3 of you guys of this sample size likes 24, then probably a lot of our readers like it too, right? And a lot of, like, it tends to be a show that geeky people like. There's a video game over it about it. Jack Bauer is like, I mean, Kiefer Sutherland obviously is in the next Metal Gear, and he's like a big geek figure.
Also
So
happened to be like the guy who made the best speech at the video game awards. Like,
That is true.
He actually
Yeah.
sounded
that was
genuine.
awesome. That
like,
was legit.
If I have to take his speech over Tim Schafer's dick jokes, I'll take his speech any day of the week. Thank you very much. Like, his speech was great. It's like the guy's worked in games. He understands the actual medium, and I really dig that. That's absolutely fantastic. But, I mean,
but yeah,
there's a
so-
term for what you do, which is basically like geek adjacent. It was a similar thing to what Polaris was trying to do for a while,
I
although
like it.
kind of
I
fell
like
flat on
it.
its face for the most part. I think Dodger, as you will probably tell people, it's the geek adjacent
mean-
stuff is maybe not so good.
Yeah, we always try to be like maybe some anime stuff, and then we just keep doing gaming stuff.
Yeah, it's.
Maybe
That's
some
funny because
comic
our
book stuff.
readers love it. Our readers love both of that, both anime and comic book. And so I found that like if one of our writers really cares about something and really is like passionate, and the readers can tell, then they'll tend to embrace it. So like I
That's a
was
fair point,
recapping 24 when the new season came out, the limited thing last year. I would write weekly recaps, and it was just so much fun. And like I had a blast doing it. Our readers seemed to dig it. So like that's the type of stuff that we have fun doing, and I think it's part of what has made us such a big site and such a successful site in many ways.
True. Cool. All right. Well, welcome to the show. That's a nice little icebreaker. They get
Thank
people
you.
sort of used to what you do. Outside of that, we have these idiots. Jesse, welcome to the show.
Hi. Wow. I'm still excited about the fact that Jack Bauer dodged tactical missiles.
Oh, God.
They were locked
It's-
onto him.
it's-
How'd he do that?
How?
He
What?
was in,
What
like,
the point?
a
How do you
Jetta or
lock
something.
tactical missiles onto a person? Like that's not a thing that happens.
No, they locked it onto his car.
Why didn't you just
and
get out the car then?
He dodged them because he had to dodge them with the car in the middle of
Why?
London.
Why?
Because
He was
he's Jack
driving
Bauer.
around.
Okay, right.
He was
First
driving
thing,
around.
driving in the middle of London, not a thing that happens. That's a lie. Secondly, you could have dodged the tactical missiles by going into the fucking tube that's under the entire street.
It does. Look, Jack Bauer doesn't need to do that. He's Jack Bauer. The U.S. government was after him.
Does Jack Bauer pay the
British
congestion
government was
charge?
after-
That's the question.
Everyone was after him. Look, I could watch 24 all day, every day. That show is so silly. If there was a shark to jump, it jumped it and then shot the shark in the head, and I approve. I'm totally okay with
Well,
that.
this is a very
Oh,
shark
man.
week, so I think that's very appropriate. Everyone's
True.
about the dancing sharks this week. Oh my.
Not
Well,
me.
to be
Jesse,
fair,
you and I are gonna be good friends. You and I are gonna be good.
Jesse
Jack
hates
Bauer
sharks.
lovers.
He's the worst, dude. But he
Loves
does like 24.
Hates
so-
sharks.
Yeah.
If you fit in that Venn diagram.
Yeah, that's a
Best
particular
friend. You and me.
specific demographic that you're both
Yeah.
working towards here. Dodger, welcome to the show.
Hi. I'm with TB. I watched the first like 3 seasons of 24, and then I stopped watching it. I'm sorry. And I also
Man,
love
you
sharks.
missed when Jack Bauer cried in a car. You missed every good moment. When he was
Cried
like-
in a car. Well, fuck, I've got to get back to
That
that
was-
then.
That was the
That's
last
worth
scene of
abandoning
one of the
season 3 of The West Wing
The
for.
last scene of one of the seasons was him just crying in a car.
You guys
Boom!
missed Jack
It was-
Bauer putting on like an Iron Man mask and like knocking out 10 Secret Service agents so he could kidnap an ex-president.
Guys,
You guys
if I'm
don't even
if I'm
know.
gonna choose, if I'm gonna choose a ridiculous sort of show to watch, I'd much rather watch something like Teen Wolf, and just be like, what the fuck
No,
is
that
happening?
is-
But it's just like
that
A
is-
plus. A plus is everywhere.
That requires a vagina to watch that show. I can't do it.
He's a
Can't do
handsome
it.
man. He's
I
chiseled.
love that shit.
He's
Can't do
oiled
it.
at times,
Oh.
from what I can
Can't
tell.
do it.
Nothing wrong with appreciating a fine figure.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Oh, incidentally, by the way, Dodge, I've got you beaten on the hood this week because.
Oh, is it Spider-Man? Oh, what? Never mind.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. No, that's Spider-Man though, right?
It's Deadpool.
That's the
Deadpool.
joke.
It doesn't
the
quite fit
Deadpool
over the hat.
joke.
I should probably.
Do you
throw it
wear
away.
that out of the house?
Yes, I literally walk around the street in a Deadpool robe. That's
Yeah,
the thing that
yeah.
happens.
I
To be
think-
fair, I'm in
I
North
think you should.
Carolina. I could probably get away with it. It's okay, especially in this area.
What are you
But
trying to say about North Carolina?
I'm just saying we don't really give a fuck down here. You know, you LA guys are just far too uptight. You know, I walk outside in a
So
bathrobe at
uptight.
times. I'm gonna collect.
Uptight.
Apparently, everyone thinks I like bathrobes now. They're entirely correct. It's pretty much all I wear indoors these days because it's just much. It's much better in my. I blame my current condition. So I have a collection of them now, and they're slowly getting more ridiculous. The Deadpool one outdoes the Jedi one, which outdoes the Captain Kirk one. So I'm not
Captain
sure
Kirk
how.
one is so good though.
It's a good one. I like that one a lot. He's got little tassels and everything on it. Yeah, I go with that shit. We need.
Tassels.
I guess they're not really tassels, are they? That's
No,
that's
they're
something
not.
else
Tassels.
entirely.
Yeah, just let it.
That's
let it
my
happen.
night
Have the
job.
tassels.
That's
Captain Kirk
adorable.
tassels.
It's
Nice.
got little tassels on
Adorable.
it. Yeah, just spin them around a little bit. That's all right. Well, welcome to the Crucial Podcast. We do occasionally talk about video games. Coming up in the show, we'll be talking about the games that we have been playing this week. That usually takes about the first 2 hours, yammering on about whatever. And then after that, and after we have shilled our sponsor to you, we'll talk a little bit about the news that's been going on, then wrap up with the releases, and then tell you where to go if you wish to find our content. It is that simple. It is not a complicated format. We're not very creative here. It's that simple.
I hear Jason's been playing Suikoden.
Yes, so I've
That's
been
what I heard
told.
too.
I heard that somewhere.
I was just asked on Twitter to talk about more JRPGs because you guys apparently don't talk about JRPGs.
We don't talk about a huge number of them, although Suikoden's always kind of been on my radar because there's some similar mechanics that kind of they crossed over from Suikoden to Shining Force 3, which is like one of my favorite games of all time. They had I can't remember if it was Suikoden 2 or 3 that had the Trinity system where like you played 3 characters and what one character did affected the storyline of the others. It was one of the Suikoden games. I've never got around to playing any of them.
Yeah, that was 3.
3? Okay.
John, let me pitch you this.
All right, pitch me
Game of
Suikoden.
Thrones. Game of Thrones meets Pokemon.
Okay.
That is Suikoden in a nutshell.
Do I get to
And-
collect half men and then toss them out to fight each other?
You can, sure.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
You recruit a lot of people and build an army, and you get your own castle, and it's really, really cool. I mean, I could just go on about this for 2 hours if you want.
That would make the show very easy. I'm happy here
Yeah,
just running ads and making money. You do whatever
Sure,
the fuck
just,
you want.
yeah.
It's all good.
You guys just take a nap for a while, but that is like that. It's one of those tragically underappreciated series that Konami kind of mismanaged and marketed poorly. I mean, first of all,
Konami
it has a
mismanaging
terrible
a
name.
franchise? Never.
No, I know, right? Never. Konami
Never do
would
something
do
like that.
I mean,
What's the
Suikoden
combat
is like,
system like in this thing? Like, is it a tactical RPG or is it more of a traditional JRPG active time battle?
So there are a few different systems. There's like a main battle system that's more like a traditional JRPG where it's turns, but it's very quick. It's much quicker than most JRPGs. And then there's also like an army battle system, which is kind of like Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is the best comparison.
Sure.
Well, that's in the second one. It changes up between every game has a different system for that. But
Right.
like in the second one, there's this Fire Emblem-ish system where you move your soldiers around a battlefield and have them move grids and attack each other. Man, those games are so good, and I think everybody in the world needs to play Suikoden 1 and 2 because they are amazing.
Yeah, twos you can get it on the Vita now, I think. So I'll probably play it on that. That sounds
Both
like a
of them.
good idea.
You should play 1 first. 1 isn't as good as 2. 2 is like a groundbreaking, like revolutionary game that's still like the emotional impact of that game still has not been matched today. But 1 sets up a lot of the awesome groundwork that you need for 2.
Oh, so
it's
you
not
can't just
quite
skip
as
it. Okay.
amazing. I wouldn't. You can if you really want to, but I wouldn't. I would recommend both of them
All right,
if you
well-
have the time and the inclination.
Well, it's the time that's the problem, but maybe I have the inclination. We'll see. I have been interested in that series for a long time, and people are arguing over how to pronounce it. Some people are claiming it's Suikoden instead of Suikoden. I've always heard Suikoden.
Suikoden.
Suikoden. I don't
Sounds
know.
like a
I mean,
drug.
let's just all admit that it's a terrible name.
Yes.
And, they should have called it something English for English audiences.
That might have helped a little bit. That
Yeah,
might
totally.
be why it didn't sell
You
so...
could cater to us more. That would be great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you know, because
Exactly.
Lord knows the West isn't catered to already enough in video games. You know?
No, and all video games need to use the American date system, and
fuck you.
they should get rid of metric
Agreed.
entirely.
Agreed.
God, it's
Obviously.
just awful. Yeah, just get rid of the system that 95% of the world uses for the silly imperial measurements. That said, I've got nothing to talk about because we use both in the UK. We don't give a fuck. We're just like, yeah, we still use miles per hour, but we still measure everything in meters because fuck you. Just so
Yeah, that
silly.
doesn't make it.
Oh man.
No, that
any
makes no
sense to
sense
me.
at all. Like we do weight in stone, but we don't use pounds. We use kilos and stone, which are two entirely different systems. Because fuck you.
Yeah, stone is 15 pounds, right?
I 14 or 15, I think. Yeah. But we don't use pounds, generally speaking, in measurements, unless you're buying things from markets, in which case they might still use pounds. They actually tried to pass a law to stop that from happening. There was a mass revolt from people that's like, no, if I go to the fruit market, I will now be confused and be ripped off. So they dropped it. It's like,
I feel like that's an Abbott and Costello sketch waiting to happen where it's like, oh, I have 15 pounds. Is that 15 pounds? No, I'm giving you 15 pounds.
yeah, I'm giving you 15 pounds. Like, but pounds is money. I think that's probably the main reason because our currency is pounds, so we don't want to use weight as
Right.
pounds because that would be
Right, it
fucking
makes it,
confusing.
yeah, that would be, oh man.
Yeah, and no one uses the term pound sterling ever.
Don't
so.
say that makes sense. Don't justify it. It doesn't
Okay,
make
fine,
sense.
we're
It's
idiots.
crazy.
We are a little bit silly when it comes. We just use any
crazy.
measurement we can get our hands on at this point. It's just when we want to feel superior to to America, we'd claim that we use the metric system, but behind everyone's backs, we're measuring everyone in feet. That's just happening, whether you like it or not. And not to mention our shoe sizes.
Called out.
God,
Got
even.
called out just now.
Indeed.
Called out, Brits. You got called out.
Called out.
I should play some Suikoden though. It would be an excuse to turn my Vita back on. So I keep meaning to play Natural Doctrine because it's apparently as hard as balls, but I just don't have the inclination right now. I think it would just make me sad as a human being. So I'm gonna. I need a less horrible game to play. I need something that's a little bit more uplifting, I suppose, is the best term. And I'm not getting it right now. Everyone's trying to kill me. A Dying Light, it's like everything's going to shit and everyone's horrible. Like, oh, and I've got this radio towers to climb. Like, I cannot stand those damn radio towers. I'm sick of them in every video game. Please stop doing them. Oh god. There thankfully aren't that many in Dying Light, but there's 2 in the main storyline that you have to climb in order to actually get someone to do what you want them to do, and they're fucking infuriating. They are the worst. You can very easily fall. Well, not only do they take forever, but it's not like 100% clear where you have to climb and what you can grab onto. Like sometimes you can grab onto things that you don't think you can grab onto, and then think, oh, I'm on the right track then, and then you jump for the next thing, miss entirely, fall to your death, and then respawn at a camp 300 meters away.
It happens. He's absolutely right.
Yeah, it is too many. Apparently, they give you a grappling hook, but it's at like Survivor rank 12. So you have to level up a lot to get it. I was talking to a couple of people like, yeah, we just cheated to get it, because once you get the grappling hook, that game becomes a lot more fun, apparently. So, yeah, there's that. But, I mean, you guys have now had a chance to play more of it, I assume. Did you bother playing it, Dodger? I know, Jesse, you played it.
I still haven't even touched it. No.
Jason, have you touched Dying Light yet?
No, we have our guy Yannick who should be running the review like right now. That was one of those games where they didn't actually get us review copies until the day before.
No, but so I was just like, fuck it, it's on the back burner. I'll get to it when I get to it. But it's like, as I said it before in the last show, I've played like probably 6-7 more hours of it since, and I'm probably in a place where I think I can talk about it. There's not an original bone in that game's body, but it's still a pretty damn solid game nonetheless. Like, it is open world game 17 with zombies, and that's fine for the most part. I will say that the day and night cycle is really fun. Like, night actually feels like a genuine threat, and that to me is fantastic.
Last week. I said it last week.
Oh, those bastards, those fucking nasty little things that come after you at night. Holy shit. I don't even want to be out at night, but they give you an incentive to do it. Like, half the time, it's like, oh, you've got to be out at night for this particular mission, and then it's like, oh, you get double agility points and double combat points if you're out at night, so you can actually get a lot of cool shit. So, I sometimes go out at night, and then I usually regret it, because you get absolutely murdered. But it's good at what it does. I'll give it that. Like, it's not bringing anything new to the table, but for I suppose the first AAA release of the year, it's not a bad one. You know, it does the job. And drop-kicking zombies never gets old, especially if you do it into spikes. That's still fun. And I've been doing that for 10 hours, and I'm still enjoying it. Plus, just getting random weapons and modifying them with bullshit is usually good. Like, I think it was a hockey stick or something, and then modified it with electricity and razor blades, and then just went around beating people with it. It's like, yeah, that's still fun. There's...
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was alright. I wonder how it's going to get with the guns, because I haven't encountered a gun yet, and apparently, like, you don't really want to use them because they bring virals, which are very nasty versions of zombies at you, but they also do a lot of damage, and they're a good way of killing human enemies, who are generally pretty good at dodging and blocking your melee strikes, so they kill you pretty fast. So, we'll see what they do with that. But I don't know if the crafting system's going to get any more interesting. So far, it's like, well, you can add pretty much 3 elements. You can, like, add electricity, you can add toxin, and I think you can add bleed to a melee weapon, and then you can also make freezing throwing stars for some fucking reason, and fire throwing stars, and all this other ridiculous stuff. I just don't know how much further the crafting system's going to go from there, you know? Is that like as far as it gets, where I just add electricity and bleed to a weapon and that's about it? Because let's be honest, that's no Dead Rising, you know? When it comes to wacky weapons, we want Dead Rising levels of wacky weapons, and, well, Dying Light doesn't really go that far.
Do you think people will ever get sick of zombie games? Do you think we'll ever see
I think they already are, but they do keep buying them, so I'm not. I don't know.
I think like it's
Go ahead.
It's gone from just because I feel like for a while there it was zombie games in more a sense of like horde mode games.
Yeah.
Were like really big, and now there's a bigger focus on the survival aspect of those games. And so I think they've changed it up enough, and the goals are different enough where people find like that form of game interesting. I don't think that zombies are really necessary for it to
You don't think
exist,
it's the zombies that are bringing people in, it's more zombies are a good antagonist for a genre like that, because in an open world game you want to kill lots of a thing, and generally zombies are lots of a thing, and they move around slow enough that you can set them up into stupid situations.
Yeah, but I mean like look at DayZ. The reason that people play DayZ is because every time they run into another person in that game, something ridiculous happens, right? Yeah. It has nothing to do with your interactions with zombies. It's your interactions with other people who are like letting themselves totally give into the role play of like, I'm a desperate person in the middle of nowhere with nothing, right? Like zombies aren't necessary, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the same way that the Walking Dead, like, TV show works, isn't it? It's not about the zombies, it's about the people. And it's not like they haven't done that a lot before, but with games, it's a lot easier to just make it shoot the zombies instead of interact with the humans. And then we've evolved in a different way, which I find intriguing. The whole idea, as you said, about zombie survival, which is an excellent point, is there's that element of human drama that happens whenever you meet a person, because you don't know what that fucker's going to do. And that's where the tension comes from. The tension doesn't come from the zombies. The zombies just kind of create the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sorry. So with a game like Dying Light, I'm not really interested in it, but I wonder if it was a more interesting enemy that we hadn't seen before, or even if it was humans and there was some sort of weird tension, like you just mentioned there. If I would be more interested
in it.
I mean, I feel like one of the games I've been playing just nonstop for the few months is Destiny, and one of the reasons, I mean, there are a lot of reasons, and that's a terrible game, but maybe we can get into that later. One of the reasons is the enemies, and the enemies are really interesting, and like we've never seen anything like them before. There are all sorts of different types. They're weird aliens.
Halo.
They're fun. They're fun to shoot. Well, Halo approached them differently, and there's some enemies that we haven't really seen in Halo. I think Destiny does a lot of unique things that Halo didn't do. It also does some horrible things that Halo didn't do. But anyway, so if that was like zombies, I don't think I would have ever even tried it.
Yeah, I think when you're dealing with a game that involves shooting a lot of things, you're kind of limited as to what those things can be. And zombies is a very easy thing to do because I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that you don't feel bad about clubbing a zombie to death and knocking their head off with a pipe. Whereas if you do that to a human, some people are like, I don't really want to do that. You can do it to aliens, but then again, you've got to wonder what the practicality of that is. Like, if there's aliens, you're probably dealing with weapons better than water pipes, so maybe you want to consider that. I mean, there's just generic monsters, but really monsters might as well be zombies, right? I mean, with Dying Light, it's not like you're only fighting walkers. There's the guys with the big poles, there's the guys that spit at you, there's the bombers that explode, there's the virals at night that are just giant kind of stalker things that come after you. That's a point, actually. Stalker. You remember that game? That had a nice cast of enemies in it. That was a really cool, tense survival game with some really fucked up enemies. So we need more radioactive apocalypse stuff where everyone's a mutant of some description.
That's what I like. Yeah.
But
we need Fallout 4, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I want like a comment. I find that survival stuff interesting because of the stories that people tell me about playing it, where they're like, "You're not gonna believe this like crazy thing happened when I met this whole group of dudes who were all decked out in like the best gear, and then they took me prisoner and then force fed me food and I died." Whatever. So like. I want the combination of that and like Fallout. Like I don't want it to be set quite as modern as all of these games have been lately, these survival games.
Yeah, I mean, because you're dealing with the same old ideas of I've got to get some kind of melee weapon and beat people to death because ammo is scarce and all that kind of stuff. And it's not that it's not fun beating people with pipes, but like one of the problems I have with Dying Light, even like 8 or 9 hours in, is the weapon variety still really isn't there. Like, it's a blunt weapon of some description. It probably handles about the same as the other blunt weapons, and there's very few exceptions. The knives handle very differently. And the weapon that drops from the big guy with the big pole with the rocks on it, which is like a temporary weapon you can have, that handles a bit differently because it's really slow and it has a big arc. But outside of that, all the weapons feel very similar. Like, what's the difference between a water pipe, a French wrench, and a brick hammer? The answer is not much. Like, they all handle the same way. They're just stats, you know? So, and maybe they need to do a little bit more with that. Or maybe I'm just not far enough in the game yet. It's kind of weird. I feel like I've been doing 8 or 9 hours of the same thing, but I haven't really been getting that bored with it yet. I think it's just all the pieces, they come together really well. Like, it might not be the most original game ever, and it certainly isn't. And it certainly doesn't have the best writing either. You know, because, let's be honest, it's a Techland game. It's still a fun game. It's still got a lot going for it. Like, it ticks all the right boxes for an open world game, actually, I would say. To the point where running around, it's a concrete jungle. It's like an urban playground because the slum environment is really good for parkour and just jumping on shit. So I dig that. I think that I'd certainly say it's a lot better than Far Cry 4 in that respect. I enjoy traveling around Dying Light a lot more than I do in Far Cry 4. In Far Cry 4, I just want to fast travel everywhere. In Dying Light, well, you can't, but even if I could, I don't think I'd want to. Because maybe I find a building that has like a locked box in it, maybe I get a weapon out of it, or maybe I encounter a survivor along the way, or there's some side quest. And I just get to jump on top of slums from rooftop to rooftop. That's fun. That's actually really, really fun. And the first-person parkour is spot on for the most part.
It sounds like Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, it is. And it gets like that the more that you unlock skills. The skill trees are good too. That's something I should point out. Skill trees, especially like something like Far Cry, really fucking boring. Skill trees in Dying Light, really interesting. Like, almost every skill you get is either really useful or really fun and weird. It reminds me again of Dead Rising. Like, there's one skill that says you can now craft throwing stars with elemental effects. Because why? But you can. You can make throwing stars that are on fire now. I'm like, oh, that's a cool unlock. I like that. Every time I unlock something, I feel like I've got something new. Either a new move or some ridiculous feature that I hadn't even thought of yet. So I dig that. I think they did a good job with that.
I'm still waiting for the game that Techland promised with the original trailer for Dead Island. Where is that game?
You'll never get it. And to be honest, do you really want Techland to be the one making it? Like, they're not good on the subtlety, frankly. Like, they've made some good games, but they're not much of the subtlety. I'm still waiting for Hellraid. That's what I want from them. Just dumb, stupid, kill skeletons with a big hammer in first person. That's what Hellraid is, from what I've been told. I
can't believe there's a game called Hellraid. That's like up there with,
you can't believe it's from Techland. Techland, as I say, they've got the subtlety of an IED. Like, they're not known for their like great storytelling. But again, it's Dying Light's pretty good. I think it's a good start to the year.
I feel like the problem with Dying Light and the problem with zombie games in general is that they've been so overdone and tapped out that when you talk about Dying Light and you say that there's nothing new in it. It's fun, but there's nothing new. That's because the genre is offering nothing new right now.
No.
And there's nothing new to add to it. And so even in new games that are fun, you're still seeing the same things that you saw in Left 4 Dead, or you saw in Dead Rising, or you saw in literally any zombie game up to this point. I think, this is just my suggestion to the industry, we need a They Live game. A game where the monsters look like people, and you can't tell that they're not monsters until you put the glasses on. And then when you put the glasses on, you're like, oh shit, those human beings are monsters.
So
and when you kill them...
You have to fit in?
Yeah, but when you kill those monsters, the other people see you killing humans, and they lose their shit. And so now cops are after you, and now everyone's after you because you're killing what to everyone else seems like humans, but they're really the evil monsters. They Live game. Make it happen. $12 billion you'll make. I'm telling you.
It would be like that Grimm show. Like, he's the only one who can see that everybody's a monster.
Yes.
To everybody else, they're just normal peoples.
I'd love a series, maybe an episodic series of games based on like either the Twilight Zone or the Outer Limits, with just really weird mechanics and ideas.
Twilight Zone game would be amazing. I would love that.
That I don't even know how that would work.
It would be a super surreal game, right? Like,
yeah, it would be like mini
take you
episodes.
through
Like it would be
lots of
episodic.
weird shit.
Like maybe each one lasts like 2 hours and has its own unique set of weird mechanics and ideas where it doesn't have to go too far with them. Because like if you take some of those ideas and turn them into an entire game, that's where things become problematic. Because like it's like 20, 30 hours of this stuff and it gets old. But do it in like a 2-hour mini game, then you can experiment with the mechanics in a really cool way.
And then later on, once this has become like a crazy hit, they can have an extra episode that's the William Shatner episode where you are the monster on the airplane wing.
The airplane wing?
Yeah, and it's him going, ah, looking out the window. And you can see him looking out the window and seeing you, and you're like, well, no, it's fine. And he's like, ah.
It's one of those games where you can't get caught. Everyone else, you have to only be seen by him. You can't be seen by anybody else. That's the whole point of it's a mini game. Oh my God.
Yeah, so not only you have to shred it and you have to bother him, but not any of the other passengers. Like his mental state is like a win condition. You've got to drive him insane.
He's got a
It's not just
meter.
about it's not just about bringing the plane down. It's about bringing his mind down.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a
don't we make video
justifiable
games?
excuse for an episodic content release. Because
what if
episode 1 is it's the one with the guy with the glasses, and he breaks his glasses at the end of the world, and you can have the one where like they're getting closer to the sun, but they're actually getting further from the sun, like all that crap.
Or the one
Make
where
it happen.
there's a UFO in that lady's house, and then at the end you realize that the UFO is actually from Earth, and she's the alien.
I remember the one where they were, I think it was on like when they remade it, they did one about sending, Earth was like in a war and with another planet, and they sent this ship with a big bomb to destroy that planet that he never realized, the cadet kind of fights through and the ship gets invaded and everything, but they never realized that they turned the ship around. He launches the bomb at Earth, and that's like the end of it. It's like, yeah.
Oh
So
man,
good.
I think this combination, this idea needs to be crossed with Mario Party. So you would have a Mario Party. You have a Mario Party. Hear me out.
All right, okay, all right.
You have a Mario Party. You have a board game. It's a multiplayer game. You're going along. You're doing your thing. Except like everything's really fucked up, and like the board is all twisted and Twilight Zoney. And then every single mini game is just like some crazy weird mechanic and idea with a twist at the end, and it just totally fucks you up the entire time you're playing. This would be a really long game, by the way. It would take like
And nobody
10 to
wins.
12 hours.
Nobody
wins. There's nobody at the
That's
end.
the twist. That's the ultimate twist. That the only winner is the game.
Oh man.
I like that.
God.
I like that. We
Yeah.
need more twist games. We need more games where by the end of it you're like, what just
The
happened?
fuck
That doesn't
happened?
happen nearly
Yeah.
enough.
No, I mean,
That's true.
people try that all the time.
But they suck. But they're not
Right,
good.
it just doesn't work. It
I know, I'm
doesn't
just saying, people keep trying to give you twists, Jesse. It's not that nobody's trying to give you twists. It's that the
Good.
twist happens and you're
Let
like,
me clarify. We
fuck
need
this
good
game.
twist games. We need
Alright,
good
okay.
twist games.
I mean, actually, at the end of the latest Mario Party, it turns out that Waluigi was dead the whole time.
Oh, right, okay.
Whoa.
Was he the
Mind
ghost
blown.
chasing Luigi? Oh my god!
He was the ghost of Luigi's past.
Oh, man.
I like that game now. I get it.
So, has anyone checked out the Dying Light mobile app?
Nope.
Okay,
No.
so I have it here.
That's
And
good. That's
So
good.
basically, the mobile app it's this
You have to
weird
pay
little
to keep
mini game.
using it?
No, it actually gets you stuff in the game. So you collect scouts and you send them on missions. Like, there's literally no gameplay whatsoever. So, like, I send scouts on, let's see, finish this mission. There we go. Send it to School's Out. And I tap and I pick scouts, and it has a squad power meter. And my scouts have levels, and they have health that you have to manage, so you have to,
Wait,
like,
does this
heal them
affect
up.
the actual game, or is this
Yeah.
just something?
It affects the game. So you send them...
Oh, so this
you-
is what garrisons should be? as
Okay,
an
yeah,
app?
it's basically garrison. So, like, these guys right here are now going to go on a mission. Sorry, this is hard to do backwards. Like, there. There. Okay, so now they're going on a mission. In about 5 minutes, they'll come back, and they might die, but they'll tell me what they found. And what you can do is, in your inventory, you can create a package, which will then be dropped into the game for you to pick up. So right now I've got like 3 rations, some duct tape, some alcohol, some nails, and I could create a package, a supply package of up to 20 items, and then send them to my game. And I can then pick them up in game. It's kind of a neat idea. Like,
Yeah.
it's I don't hate that, actually. Like, it's a cool little thing to do kind of while you're at work or whatever, because you can send your little guys on missions and pick stuff up. Maybe you get lucky and you get a cool add-on, and then you send it to your game, and then when you get home, there's a supply crate that you have to go and get. That's pretty neat,
Little
right?
guys on missions.
It's a nice little implementation, I think. It's utterly fucking pointless, but it's
You
neat.
get stuff. That's not pointless.
Yeah, you get stuff.
But it relates to the game. A game where they're like, there's only 30 of you who can go out there and do the running things, and and so it kind of relates to that, where now you're controlling those guys. Like, it makes sense in the world of the game, which is kind of neat.
Someone pointed out that we need this for Dragon Age Inquisition. Fuck yes, you do. Like, that is a game that needed
so
that
nice.
app without a doubt.
The war table as an app.
Just being able to do the war table as an app would have been ideal.
You go do this.
Would have been ideal. But no, you can't, because fuck you. But you could do it in Dying Light, a game that clearly does not actually need it. Like, I don't have a shortage of string. I can find string in game. It's not a problem, guys. Really, stop bringing me string. But it's a very strange kind of idea that the games are starting to do this kind of implementation. I wonder, like, does it really help them that much? Like, is it in any way? Like, is it even a good marketing tool? Why would you make this?
I mean, I would say that
in a focus group.
Oh, okay. So that is it. Like, the focus groups say, oh, well, you need some kind of mobile implementation.
Yep, 100%. I'm like not even kidding. That's exactly how these companies make these decisions. These publishers get like 20 people in a focus group. They say, well, does it have a mobile app? And suddenly they make multi-million decisions based on that.
Which gamers don't actually give a shit about in general.
Right.
Like, it's not that mobile apps keep making them any money.
Well, but then there's situations like where everybody has been saying for a while now, please, 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 Blizzard, make a Garrison app. Like, it's not that it's always just them being like, here's an app, just so that there's an app. Like, a lot of people want a Garrison app, right? And it doesn't exist.
But they want you logging into the game,
there.
though.
Yeah, they want you to log in. That's right. The strategic choice is they want you to keep logging into the actual game.
But when you have an app, it keeps you, like, thinking about it all day. Like,
but then you don't log into the actual game. You log into the app.
With the Dying Light thing, right? Like, they make it so that you can reward yourself in the game. And the only way you get that reward is by actually logging into the game. So you are actively involved with that game the entire day. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh my gosh, I sent a crate to myself. I'm so excited. Like, if there's something like that keeps
where you're kind of limited, so you
line,
can't just sit on the app all day. So there's like a limit, and you have to get in game and actually collect the results. I mean, isn't that how garrisons work anyway, right?
Yeah, you have to like send them out on missions and then like leave it. It's just like plenty of other apps that don't have a full game attached to them.
I think Blizz's justification is if you can just log in for 5 minutes and send people out and then come back 12 hours later. Like, you don't need to have an app for it.
But an app is easier to open.
If they make an app, I will be surprised. I don't think it's going to happen. It doesn't seem like a thing.
So speaking of apps.
Yes.
I mean, not only did I just download XCOM Enemy Within onto this fucking phone, which I'm like, yeah, that's so cool. But I got the XCOM board game. It's finally out. Really excited about it. So the cool thing about the XCOM board game is that it uses an app. And this app has a lot of functionality. And you have to use the app in order to actually play the game. So I want to show you the app and what it actually does, because it's really fucking cool. It actually has all the music from the game as well. So that's the XCOM board game app. And just turn the music up on that. There you go. And you hit play, and you just select how many players are going to be on the board. So say one player. Next. And then you go to tutorial, and this teaches you how to play the board game, which is awesome.
Oh, interesting.
And it walks you through all the setup. And now once you've done all the setup, it actually starts generating stuff in the game for you. So it gives you missions. Like, it acts kind of like a deck of cards, and it's all timed as well. So you've got to make these decisions in the board game at the right kind of time. So I hit begin round 1. It's got a little deployment thing. And then it'll tell you, it's like, oh, yeah, the researchers come in. So the chief scientist now draws cards from this deck, and it tells you how to do it. And it's on a timer as well, so it keeps the game going. And you've got to make all these decisions in real time, and the app dictates the game and tracks everything. So it's pretty fucking cool. Like, it's an awesome idea.
I'm having trouble understanding how what's going on your phone connects to what would be happening on a board.
So basically the game takes place in phases, and rounds. So the app generates what's going to happen in the round, and then you implement what it tells you to do. So it's like, okay, your
But
research
it's
is
time,
done.
so you have to do it fast.
Yeah, there's a pause option to stop that from happening, but pretty much all the interaction is done on the board. It's the difference between something like that and Golem Arcana, which is like Golem Arcana tracks everything with the app. That app is there to generate the game for you, but you're still rolling dice and you're still drawing cards and you're still moving things around on the board, but you're doing it because the app told you, shit, there's an invasion and it's hitting Africa. Are you going to respond to it? Okay, you got to respond to it? Right, well, who are you going to send there? And all that kind of stuff. It's a really awesome idea. I'm looking forward to playing it. Not only that, but it teaches you how to play the game, which is the biggest barrier between playing a board game most of the time, is learning the rules. So if you have an app that teaches you the fucking rules as you play, it's perfect.
That is cool. That's cool. You know what? I think that's actually that's a good use of like an additional app. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's smart.
Yeah, it's not taking the game over. It's like a companion. You remember those old VHS games? Oh, what the hell was it called? Atmosphere. Yep. You remember Atmosphere that had a VHS tape with it? It's the natural evolution of that, where you have a real-time component. There's also another really cool game called Space Alert, and it comes with a CD, which is a bit weird. But the CD has like 20 scenarios on it, and the game is played in real time. So you set up your spaceship, and it's actually like playing FTL in real time on a board game. It's like FTL, the board game. And it's telling you all this stuff. It's like, contact approaching, and blah, blah, blah. And you've got to do everything in time before the next thing happens. And you've got to think ahead, because a lot of the stuff takes multiple rounds to do, so you've got to time things out. It's a really cool evolution of board games. Absolutely love it. I hope they do more stuff like that.
There was a game, I'm trying to find it. I don't remember what it was called, but it was a horror board game.
Well, Atmosphere was one of them, definitely. But
maybe that's what it is.
Candyland.
Candyland is horrific for many other reasons.
No, but like it had. I think it was called Nightmare or something, but that might be Atmosphere. It had a VHS with it, and you played the horror game with the TV. That was like, it's coming to get you. Like, that was awesome. I think you're absolutely right.
The thing is, those had no replayability, because once you'd watch the VHS tape, you're pretty much done. The cool thing about this is it generates different missions for you. So there is lots of replayability. And Space Alert's kind of the same, because there was like, it had like 20 scenarios, and then the expansion had like 30 more scenarios. So you just picked the track on the CD that you wanted to play, and then you played it. And it was the time component was really interesting. So...
what do you do in 5 years or 10 years when the app doesn't work anymore?
You cry mostly.
You get a new board game.
There is that you do have a very valid point with that, actually. That if the app stops working, you are fucked.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the equivalent to, watching the VHS one time, or like with the Scene It games. Right. Like after you had played the Scene It games a few times, you were like, I've seen all of these questions before, right?
Yeah.
Like. What? Yeah. I forgot about the Star Trek The Next Generation interactive board game.
Oh, is that it?
I never had that, and I always wanted it. Where you watch the VHS where the Klingon would be like, I'm coming for you, Picard. Man, I wanted that shit so badly.
They someone uploaded the VHS on YouTube. It's like an hour long. They actually have... Is that Gowron? Is that fucking Gowron? I think it is. Holy shit, we're going to show this.
Apparently there's a Star Wars one too where Darth Vader comes after you and he's in the VHS. There were so many cool There's a Wayne's World VCR board game. What?
That is Gowron. Either that or it's a really bad Gowron impersonator. I'd recognize those forehead ridges anywhere.
There's a People's Court VHS board game?
People's Court?
What?
Oh no my God, that sounds amazing.
Wait, man, my parents neglected me. Mom, I know you're watching. You neglected. I wanted that. You kept it from me. I could have been important. I could have been the president if I had those.
You could have been
Now look at me. I'm some asshole on the internet.
Could have been someone.
Oh
man, that's so cool. I also missed out on the whole VHS board game thing, but I think that it's got to the point where the app implementation is maybe like the new hotness when it comes to that. And I think that I'm hoping XCOM ends up being good. Like, the initial reviews are good. I've got it right here. I'm going to play it at the weekend with my wife and kids, so we're probably going to hate each other by the end of it, because it's fucking XCOM. We're going to get wrecked. That's going to happen. It's hard. It even has different difficulty levels you can select, so we'll see. But, yeah. I just really like that idea. I'm really into board games right now, and I love the idea that you can cross technology with more traditional board games and enhance the experience. I think that's really cool. All right, about time for a break, I think, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about more video games we've been playing this week, because there's plenty more on the list. You are watching the Co-optional podcast. We have a new Squarespace ad for you, ladies and gentlemen. I know this is what you've been looking forward to. Everyone looks forward to the Squarespace ad every week for some reason. We have a brand new one. Here it is. This is a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back. Do not go anywhere. Jesse, you seem frustrated.
It's this damn website. It's gonna be the next big thing, but I can't even get it to work correctly.
The next big thing? Huh, that sounds interesting. Well, what's that all about?
It's a definitive list of all the dancing sharks I know of.
So what you're telling me is that you're trying to cash in on the current but obviously fleeting interest in dancing sharks thanks to the recent Super Bowl performance, yes?
Yes, I really like money.
Well, it does seem like developing a website the old-fashioned way would take forever.
That's the problem. By the time I figure out how to create this thing, the craze will have vanished. I need a way onto this bandwagon, and fast.
Well, instead of creating it yourself, which takes, effort and stuff, have you considered Squarespace?
What exactly is Squarespace, and how can it help me mine this internet gold?
Well, Squarespace lets you make a website for whatever you'd like. You can create a professional-looking and super functional website with no experience required, and if you sign up at squarespace.com/co-optional, we'll give you 10% off your first purchase.
Wait, so it's that simple? Just sign up on Squarespace and I'll be showered with internet gold?
Well, I mean, there's no guarantee, but your website's certainly going to look the part.
Fantastic! There's just one problem.
And what is that?
My crippling fear of sharks!
Squarespace, create a website about sharks that can terrify viewers the world over on practically any device. Focus on your ideas, get up and running in minutes, and even sell directly to your customers with Squarespace e-commerce. Start a trial with no credit card required and start building your website today. You can even get 10% off your first purchase and support the Co-optional podcast by visiting squarespace.com/co-optional. Would like to thank Squarespace for their support of the Co-optional podcast, and please ask that they call off the dancing sharks at once. Please, really, we'll do whatever you say. Squarespace. Built is beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-optional podcast, and Haribo's delicious. Look at these little fried eggs.
Yeah, no, delicious.
Yeah, don't taste like
TB, you're
eggs.
turning into me. I just need you to know.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped giving fucks approximately 3 months ago, and it's really just been all downhill from here.
I like the new you. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
All
It's
right,
just-
fair
I
enough.
disagree with all the comments. I like the new you.
Yeah, wait, what are those things? I need to know first, Snack Taku.
Snack Taco hasn't covered Haribo. You guys suck. Holy shit.
What? So wait, what is that?
Right, Haribo Star Mix. Okay, so there's two kinds of Haribo that you can't get in the US, and they're both the best kinds. Star Mix is one of them, and Tang Fastics are the other. They're both amazing.
Tang Fastics.
Tang Fastics will burn your tongue off. They're sour, they're delicious. These ones they have little hearts, and they have little it's foam and like a little strawberry heart. And they have fried eggs, which are foam and kind of a little lemon jelly on the top.
So
They're
it's basically just pick and mix, except they did all the work for you.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
Question.
They have
No,
a
I
lot
was
more
about to say,
varieties than
what-
that, but I left the eggs till the end.
What do hearts and eggs have to do with each other? I guess.
Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing.
I mean,
We love eggs.
Are delicious.
I love gummy eggs, man.
yeah. All right.
They have gold bears in them as well, but I ate all the gold bears. And they have cola bottles, which I also ate all of them. And they have these little kind of dummy rings, which are different fruit flavors. So good. Yeah, I import them.
Gamer
It
fuel.
costs me far too much.
Gamer fuel.
Absolutely. Much better than any game. Anything that has the word gamer in it and is food, I just avoid without like the plague. It's just why? I mean, I like food, and I am a gamer. I don't need gamer food. I have real food, and that food is pretty good. So I'll probably stick with that. Frankly,
You don't like gamer grub? You don't want something
gamer
like
grub. Oh Jesus Christ!
Gamer fuel?
Gamer food.
Not
Gamer food.
Nuts.
Gamer nuts, yes. I remember those, the caffeine flavored nuts.
The caffeine nuts.
Oh
I
my
remember those.
god. Just,
Oh man.
and
I
then of
wonder if
course the
real people
Athene
eat-
Extreme Energy Drink. We can't forget that.
A thing in your mouth.
Athene in your mouth. Yeah.
I do still have a crate of that upstairs. If
I
anyone
still
wants
have
it,
that.
you let
I
me
haven't
know.
touched it. I don't
You
dare.
let me know.
I don't dare eat it. Fuck it. I'm sending it to Kotaku. You guys could deal with this shit. Like you do an article on Athene's extreme energy drink powder that, frankly, will probably kill you.
Oh man.
It'll keep you awake, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, you had some of it at one point, Jesse. You said it wasn't that bad, right?
I would simply say go watch the podcast where I had
Where
some.
you had
and
some, yeah. You actually went a
judge
little
for
bit
yourself.
nutty, if I recall correctly. It was
do you snort this, or
I
do
assume you
like,
don't,
rails
and
in
we
it?
don't endorse
No,
it.
it's.
But if you
it's
want to do
supposed
that,
to
it's probably
dissolve
pretty
in
funny.
water. It's supposed to dissolve in water. That
Mm-hmm.
remains to be seen.
Oh man, it's actually amazing when people try and market food to gamers. It's always the cringiest, most. I don't know how Doritos and Mountain Dew have managed to somehow pull it off. They've become a gigantic punchline in the process, but it works. Like they sold Code Red Gamer Fuel, no problem at all.
It's funny because I remember when the whole Doritos Gate stuff was going down a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone who did PR for Doritos, Mountain Dew, whatever, and I was like, this whole thing must be crazy for you guys. And he's like, no, we fucking love this shit. Like, they loved all the PR. They love when people talk about it. It doesn't matter if it's good publicity, bad publicity, as long as people are saying the names Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Of course, it's not
That's
like they
what people
hate
care
both
about.
those products.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for God's sake, Jeff Keighley still has a Doritos Pope hat, like, on his head in every picture you ever see. That's infinite advertising for Doritos. They couldn't possibly hate that. Oh man,
poor Jeff. Jeff got such a bad rap out of that. And,
I know he
and
did. It wasn't
totally
even his
did not
fault.
deserve that.
Like, he clearly didn't
No.
want to be there. It wasn't his fault.
No, and it's not like he was trying to win free PS4s. It's not like he was part of that.
No,
that
it was
group.
not. No,
So-
that group, yes. The
Right.
Games Media Awards. I always laugh that even exists. It's like, you think Games Media deserves a fucking award?
It's like, no, not just that Games Media deserves an award, which is like, it's one thing if you want to have a bunch of writers be like, okay, this was a cool video, this was a cool piece of writing, but this is like PR people deciding the best of the Games
It
Media.
literally
which
is.
Like,
And giving them
twisted.
prizes. How could
Oh,
that
man.
possibly not be a conflict of interest?
That is,
Call me
John,
PR
that's,
people.
this is a UK thing, so here in
Oh yeah,
America,
we
got
did
no
that
part of
shit.
this.
Well, it was interesting because what I heard about the Nexus 7 thing that they were giving away for the Watch Dogs event, it was mostly European UK journalists that ran off with it, and it was the Americans that said, nope, that's a terrible idea. So, oh yeah, the UK is fucking terrible for media. Holy shit. We have The Sun, for God's sake. We had the News of the World. That the only reason we got that to shut down is because they were
I see what
literally
you're
indicted for illegal phone hacking. We're shit. The UK media is terrible. Oh my god, absolutely awful.
Are there any
This,
extra Nexuses around? Because I will take them off
You-
your hands.
Of course you will. You're a YouTuber. You don't have any morals.
I'm not media. I'm in a post media world. man.
Post-media
Post-media
world.
I don't
Alright.
need.
You've transcended that. You've
That's what it is.
Transcended swag. And now
Postmodern
you've come back
games
around.
critique. It's all paid for, all of it.
Man,
man.
you should see. I mean, actually, we've gotten it used to be when I first started Kotaku about 3 years ago. It used to be like every other week we'd get some shit sent to our office from publishers that we just had to throw away or like throw in the dumpster, give away, whatever. Nowadays we don't get that much. It's usually the smaller companies just trying to like make a name for themselves and like stand out. But like the big publishers, we don't get that much weird swag anymore, fortunately, because we
Yeah,
don't have
it's
to
probably
throw
for
it
the
out
best.
anymore. Yeah, it's
We had to
totally for the
close our
best.
PO box because we're getting a lot of it. And you're right, it's the indies that do a lot of it. And they're nice about it. That's the worst thing. It's like they said, I think it was a developer from the Czech Republic sent me a bunch of Czech chocolate and stuff like that. It's like, I like that. And now I can't cover your game because you bribed me with sweeties.
I'll
Come
cover
on.
it. Best game 2014. Done.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Yeah,
The
send
whole
them to him.
review would be like,
He stole
it's
my
so
fucking
good.
sword.
Smooth.
Someone
Jesse,
sent me a
all you
sword and
need
he
is
still
chocolate.
has it.
Come get it. Come get that sword.
I'm not going
Come
to LA
take
to
it
get a
from me.
sword.
Come take it from me if you want that
I
sword
feel
so
like
bad.
if you're gonna sell out, you need to take more than chocolates. I mean, you need to
Yeah.
like
You
at
need to
least
do it
get some
big.
serious money going there.
Things like that's the only thing that I want though. Like
car, right? Like,
you
Right,
will
a
get
car,
you'll get further sending me chocolate than you will trying to give me a laptop. You will, because it's like I already have a laptop and it's better than your shit, but this chocolate
See,
looks delicious.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. I have a laptop. I have a computer. I don't need that.
I don't need your shit.
Send me something crazy new that I've never experienced before. It's the experiences.
Yep, that's
Oh,
why I
man.
closed my PO box. I'm like, I am too easily led by this. I'll be nice to these people because they sent me nummies. I need to not do that. All
It's
right.
funny because all that stuff is so useless, and like
Oh,
what
yeah.
what a lot of people don't realize is that the bigger ethical issue for games media is the subtle stuff. So like when a PR person wants to go grab a drink after work just to unwind, just to have an off the record meeting, or like someone wants to buy you dinner, or like you accept a drink, a lunch, whatever. That's the stuff that you really got to worry about because like someone sending you swag, it's easy to just throw it out and get rid of it. It's the more subtle stuff you have to be really careful about.
It's. I think a lot of it is down to the way that this affects YouTubers in a big way as well, and I see a lot of like younger YouTubers getting really taken in by this. It's the feeling of importance, like because these are enthusiast press, like they really care about these games and they care about the people that make them, and to them, like a lot of these developers are celebrities, you know, they're idols. So if a dev like makes them feel important, that's like you got them. Yeah, you got them. They're putty in your hands at that point.
That's the problem with using the word like influencer and things.
Yeah.
Instead
Oh,
of
God,
like when
that's a
talking
nasty
about
word.
YouTubers,
Yeah.
it's like they're influencers, and it's
I like
just because.
tastemaker. I think tastemaker is a good word.
But it's the same thing. It's we're gonna use these people to sell other people things. Like that's basically what it comes down to. And it's like, all right, I see. And the thing is that a lot of YouTubers like really okay with that. Like, all right, sure, I'll tweet about this new Nokia phone I got today. Like, you have 5 phones. You don't need another phone. It's so good though.
Well,
like,
a lot of people do that for the minute. I think a lot of it is seen through though. Honestly, like when you cover a game that you've already covered in the past, like a year ago, and you obviously enjoyed, and you're just doing it again for the money, I don't think people really care. And I think that's why I think that's always going to be the best format, which is why it's like one of the only formats that we ever really do. But if it's some random shit, people are going to be like, what? You know, I mean, the Squarespace relationship here is an obvious thing. Like, it's a sponsorship of the podcast. Like, it's very kind of upfront, and it's a traditional ad, and I think it works well in that respect. But if we were just running around pretending to be super Squarespace enthusiasts kind of out of nowhere, people would be like, what? You've never shown any interest in this before. You know, what the hell's going on with that? So I think that, yeah, a lot of YouTubers do take some really stupid deals that really just don't work out well for them, and they do it often for chump change as well. Like that, we had an issue with that, Jesse, didn't we? I mean, we won't name the name of the company.
No names.
A certain boutique computer manufacturer was trying to set some of us up with computers, laptops specifically, about a $2,000 value, and the deal involved like 6 months to a year of pre-rolls and monthly mentions of this system. For a $2,000 computer, I'm like, that sounds like good to maybe your average person, but to a YouTuber, that's garbage. I mean, not only is the laptop actually not as good as my laptop, but I'm like, I'm not gonna do 6 months of promotion for you for a computer that's not even that good. What the hell, are you out of your mind? That's a terrible deal. Absolutely terrible.
If this was 3 years ago, that's something I probably would have considered because it was a different. Like, I think that the problem now is that a lot of people just underestimate their own time and money and value.
They don't understand their own value to people. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And a lot of companies exploit that like crazy because they assume YouTubers are dumb young kids and will be like, "You're gonna give me a free thing? Awesome!" And that's the assumption.
Now we've got like 2 extremes going on, right?
Oh,
we talked about that before. Like we've got people who don't know their value and kind of fall into bad situations where they're like, oh God, everything is going to be, you know, sponsored by this thing. And I got $100. Yay. That's cool. And then there's the other side of it where somebody's like, you want to play my game? And they're like, I don't know. Do you got $5,000?
Yeah. And there are people doing that.
Fuck.
Yeah. I heard some recent incidents involving that where like, I think it was for a preview code for a game, and a lot of people came back and said, yeah, I'll play it if you pay me $5,000 or whatever. And we're just pulling those numbers out of thin air. Obviously, they don't really represent anything. But some of that makes a degree of sense. And then, as I've said before, I'm pretty sure, like I said this like a year ago when I talked about XB1M13, when that shit went down. It's like, look, you can't just run around asking game companies for money for everything. Like, at the end of the day, you're still using their footage, and you probably don't want to piss them off that much. Like, I would prefer that everyone didn't pull a Nintendo at this point, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, let me just ask you guys a quick question, because this gets into, again, the separation of, like, what
Watch
I
out,
do,
he might be trying to do journalism. Run.
and what you guys do.
All right, go for it. Shoot,
It's funny. I always get accused of picking people for information because it's just my instinct to keep asking people questions. So I'm curious, do you guys like when we get invited to, let's say, an EA preview event, they tell us, come out here, play games, whatever. Like, we usually ignore it and don't go because we don't do a lot of previews these days, but it's just kind of an invite, and they've stopped even bothering trying to like get us to let them pay for our hotel and flight because we've had a policy against taking any sort of junket like that for a while. So when they do that sort of thing for you guys, I know they have separate events for YouTuber influencers. Do they, how does that work exactly? Do they offer to pay you guys just for coming out and playing the game?
Jesse,
and
you've
making
done a
videos
few of
about
these, haven't you?
Yeah. So I love doing these things, but I will be very honest with them, like up front, and like if there's ever a promotional thing, I'm like, it goes to my Jesse Sells Out show, which is literally
Is called Jesse Sells Out and has dollar signs all over it. Yeah.
Or I will say I'll check out your stuff. All this stuff you want to do for me, you're damn right I'll take it, but there's no way I'm going to come back and be like, what a fantastic thing. So a great example of that is last year Ubisoft, like hardcore, was like, Jesse, come to this, and Jesse, do this. And I am not a fan of a lot of the games that they released. Like, I think that Valiant Hearts was fantastic, but other than that, I like shat on most of their games, and they have not contacted me since. So I think like it's one of those like, yeah, sure, invite me to all your things, but I'm gonna be honest with what happens, with your game. If it's a shit game,
and then
they
get more selective about who they bring in, because like going to a press event for a YouTuber, it's like you got to look at what's the value. Like, there's actually quite a lot of value, more so than there would be to a traditional site. Because like you go to a press event, let's say, Jason, and your site writes a few articles. Like, maybe you make a bit of money on that, but chances are you're going to get other opportunities to write about that game up until its release. So it's not really that important. But here's the thing: a lot of these press events now have set things up so that they're designed for YouTube capture and streaming. Like, this has been a very recent thing where they've said, we'll let you capture. Then suddenly, value comes out of it. Because you go to an event like that, you get 2 hours of a game that people are interested in a couple of months before release. You kind of cut that footage up. You make a few videos out of it. That's actually quite a lot of money. Like, to the point where, let's see, I've ever been to 2 events. Neither of them paid for travel. But they were both Paradox events. And what Paradox let you do was they let you capture every game. And I traveled down to London on my own ticket, of course, and went to this thing, and I made 6 videos out of it, and I made a profit on that because I got a bunch of footage of some really interesting stuff. It wasn't like super AAA, it's Paradox. Paradox always make these weird, interesting things. And I made these videos, and it was a good coverage event for me, like, because I got footage up on the channel. They didn't get to edit anything that I said. And I was just really honest about it, and I ended up like shitting on what was the name of that stupid Dungeon Keeper clone that they did? They did a really bad Empire. That was it, Empire. Fucking terrible game. But so to me that was just kind of like, that's how you get footage out on the channel, which is attractive to a lot of people. But then, of course, you have the events where they're really trying to impress the people. It's like, we're going to take you on a helicopter ride, and you're going to get to shoot a minigun. And the thing is, they've been doing that to press for ages, but now they're doing it to impressionable YouTubers,
I think the difference, and I think this works in the favor of YouTubers a lot more than it does just games, journalism, and media in general, is you guys are expected to cover everything. And we aren't. You're expected to have people at every event, like, giving some information about what happened. I can be very selective and just go to the things that I'm interested in. So going in already, it's like, you already have me. I'm already like interested in what you're doing. That's the reason why I'm gonna take my time to come see you. I get invited to shit all the time where I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's a thing, but
Can't get me on a plane for that shit, man.
I
don't think I've been to a single press event in the US because getting on a plane for me is horrifying, and I don't want to do it. So, like, nope, not coming. Sorry. If you want to run your event in Charlotte so I can drive to it, then fine. But if you're putting it in LA, nope, not unless I'm there for another reason. Not going to happen. But yeah, it's a weird kind of dichotomy, because some of these are just like, we want exposure, so we're just going to let you film, and we're not going to do anything with it. And then there's other situations where we want to edit what you're doing. Or then there's the weird ones where we're going to pay you a premium for what you're doing. I think there was a Battlefield event a while ago that was done through Ronku, the influencer program that EA runs. I'm pretty sure they paid a premium CPM on footage for that. So it was like, so they went and captured the footage, but then they also got an advertising deal with the footage. So that was weird. It's very mixed up, like, because everything's kind of very up in the air. It's not really established yet with YouTube. So there's a lot of weird things that happen, some of which are super fucked up and, like, you shouldn't be involved in. And then some of them are just like, come and film if you want. And then you're like,
so
okay.
is the condition for that Battlefield event and events like that you have to say positive things?
Pretty sure you had to say positive things for that one.
I mean, as someone who's taken Ranku deals and is totally upfront, I'm gonna take Battlefield Hardline and have fun with Krendor on that later today. So boop. As someone who is totally a part of that, the things that they say on there are not be positive. They're like, talk about this stuff. So it's like,
yeah, it's like a list of things that they want to be shown.
Say like, do it positively. It just says show it off.
Which, to be fair, implies don't shit on it. You know.
Well,
the implication's there. It doesn't mean that that's what happens.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because, like, in the past, maybe 5-10 years ago, back before the rise of YouTubers, they would do the same sort of thing except more subtly. So they might say, here are the talking points for this, and like present it to you in a way that would get you to write about those things. Yeah. But I think that the press has kind of like evolved, and a lot of those sites and magazines have gone away. A lot of the ones that would just rewrite what the PR people told them. Mm-hmm. And like press is starting going in a different direction. So it's interesting to see. And I'm very curious to see how YouTube will evolve, whether they'll keep doing this sort of thing and keep engaging in these sort of deals, whether readers will continue to trust and enjoy that sort of content. It's a fascinating landscape right now.
Well, I think it comes down to, and it's very Game of Thronesy. Like, it's about learning to play the game, right? And I think everyone involved, young people, old, like people who've been in a while, like everyone over time needs to learn when it's okay to do things, when to say no, when, like, how to value yourself, like all the things that come with being like an influencer or a personality or a media whatever. And everyone sort of needs to know where they fit in and knows how to judge themselves. And the people who don't, those are the people who make really dumb decisions. Like, I'm going to be sponsored by this one computer making company for a year for like no money and have them all over my channel. Or I'm going to go to this influencing event that's not related to me at all for like mobile games and have this mobile game take over my channel for like there's crazy things that are thrown at us. And you just have to know. So you have to navigate what's good, what's bad, what's honest, and what's completely shamelessly selling out, and know where you stand on all of those. And I think YouTubers are very young in that world. And it's just a matter of time before we figure out sort of where we're at. Yeah. And I think we're going down that river right now.
Yeah, I mean, networks have helped quite a bit in that respect when it comes to valuing.
Yeah, it's interesting because YouTubers have a lot of advantages, and I think being a YouTuber is really cool in a lot of different ways. But one of the advantages that traditional media has is that we don't have to think about that. We don't have to think about advertising at all.
You have guys that do that. Yeah.
Right. We have like a sales team and a business team, and that's not on, like, I don't have any idea. I mean, I have to worry about my audience and like getting traffic and writing good stuff and reporting and being accurate. I mean, it's not an easy job, but I don't have to think about the business part or how much money any of my articles are making, because I just get paid a salary and bonuses and whatever, and that's the end of it. So it's really interesting to see if maybe media networks will rise in the world of YouTube. I mean, I wonder if that'll happen, where it's like you have all these networks like Polaris and whatnot. I wonder if they'll wind up creating walls the way there is in traditional journalism, where
there already is to some degree. So they can. One of the things that Polaris does alongside the more traditional brand deals is that they will sell ad inventory at a premium rate. We have no control or knowledge over any of that. That's very similar to the way the traditional media does it. So it's often like very predictable. Like when there was the Pacific Rim deal going around, they did a bunch of Pacific Rim trailer ads, obviously. But we had no involvement in any of that stuff. So there is a degree of separation for some of it, but the thing is, the stuff that's really valuable is the native stuff. And if you do native stuff, well, you can't have that separation because it's got to be native. You know, you've got to be involved. That's the whole point. Right. So, But again, it really comes down to, like, what do you expect from a channel? Like, Jesse can literally spend a week making videos about Dragon Age and just do nothing but play Dragon Age, and he's still making bank. People don't go to him for any kind of journalistic impression of anything, you know? Yeah. So there's a lot of people. For God's sake, some of the most successful YouTubers just play Minecraft. So, I mean, does anyone really care about their opinion of another game? No. Not really. No. But, you know, they might be able to take a deal to do it, and no one really cares. because like as long as they disclosed it and don't lie about it, everyone's like, all right, cool, we get it.
Yeah.
So it's a weird situation. You know, it's
very freeing to, and I think people
yeah.
are always afraid. People are always afraid that if you are advertising something or promoting something, that your audience will immediately be like, ugh. And all you have to do is just look at normal, like real, I'm going to say real celebrities who promote crap all the time, and no one ever has a complaint. And the reason why is because it's very obvious they're selling you something. And if you just flat out immediately be like, what you're seeing right now is a BS ad. Enjoy. It's 20 minutes long. The people are like, all right, cool. I'll watch this. Yeah.
Maybe I'm born with it. Or maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
It could be Maybelline.
Yeah.
Although in your case, Dodger, I don't think it's Maybelline.
It's not
Zero
Maybelline.
Maybelline. Zero.
I don't think you.
She was born with it, kids.
That's cool. I mean, I think
it a
a lot of
compliment or an
what
insult?
you guys do is,
Yeah, who knows?
I think you guys do some awesome stuff, and I mean, I think a lot of people think that YouTubers are going to replace media, and I'm not sure that's the case because I
don't
feel
think so.
like, yeah, I feel like YouTube personalities make for a good complement to traditional reporting, and I think it'll change media quite a bit. I think that media sites that you see today will look different in 5-6 years if they're still around. They already are looking different than they did even 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think things are changing in a big way, and I think that there will be. I think it'll be a good thing because I think media, and that's one of the things that we at Kotaku have started doing is shied away from preview coverage and like stuff. Like we write a lot less about stuff that isn't out, and write a lot more about stuff that's already out, which is a lot like what you guys do.
Surprisingly effective. Like when I've looked at stuff on YouTube, it's the reason I changed my convention coverage. People actually, unless it's a really big game, don't give a fuck about a game they can't buy yet. They really like games they can buy. I mean, when I did my Borderlands, the pre-sequel video, it has like almost 500,000 views. I was a week and a half late. People didn't give a fuck. Like, if I'd put that out before the game, they probably would have watched it less, which makes no sense traditionally. But the interesting thing is that, like, news on YouTube doesn't work very well unless it's done by a very specific person. Like, say...
An attractive woman? Yes.
Yes,
you're right.
there you go. Yeah.
You're right.
Or Dodger.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
No.
Well, but you know what? I think news on YouTube is always by nature going to be aggregation, and the real attention, the real way to make money in news is to break news and break stories and like be original, do original,
or be a
reporting,
pundit.
which is something.
Yeah, which I think is like what
that's another story.
the punditry is what works on YouTube. Like, just you can't really break
That's
news
what
on
works
YouTube because it's too slow. Like, because you can't beat a writer when it comes to getting a story out. You toss 3 sentences out on your website, that's news. I've got to make a video, I've got to record it, I've got to do retakes, I've got to add the footage, I've got to edit it, I've got to upload it, and then YouTube decides arbitrarily to wait 3 hours before it makes it live. You know, so you can't do that. Like, the reason why, and I assume, and Dodger can definitely correct me on this, the reason why people like Dodger's news show is it's personality-driven news, and she's the aggregator of that news. She picks the shit that she finds interesting. So that's how like her news show works, and that's why people watch hers, and people watch mine because it's like 2 minutes of news and then 30 minutes of punditry on that news. So it's like it's opinion, it's commentary.
It's weird. Like, this conversation is so weird for me. And one of the reasons I haven't really like jumped in at all is because I feel like I'm very separated from the sort of stuff that the three of you like. I don't ever get invited to that sort of stuff. Like, I don't ever get approached to come see games at conventions, like none of that stuff. If I wind up going to even parties, it's because Jesse's like, hey, you want to go to this thing? And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't have that sort of interaction with companies that's on like a schmoozy basis really at all. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's weird. It makes me wonder, like, not saying that I'm like big shit or anything, but it makes me wonder what sort of situations cause them to think we should approach this guy or we should approach this girl. Like what the stipulations are for them saying like they could help us out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you don't have the viewership. You do. I mean, you have one of the most popular news shows on YouTube, but do people approach news broadcasters and readers to promote games? Generally not.
Right.
They want to be looking at someone else. You don't really do previews of games. That's not the thing that you do.
Right. So Dodger, I think, well, so what happens with us often is a company will come to us and say, hey, we have this news blast under embargo for tomorrow at 10 a.m. But if you're not posting a video and you can't make a video to hit that embargo or hit that news blast or whatever, then they're not going to bother coming to you in the first place. Or like sometimes they might want to do an interview that'll turn into interesting news. But if you're not going to be doing an interview, if your show is just going to be that aggregation where you talk and provide personality, then it's a totally different thing. So they might not think that you're interested or see the value there.
A lot of the time it's things you've done in the past. I know it has to do with certain games you've covered, certain things you've done. It has to do with your demographics of who's watched. Like, they look this crap up and they're like, who's watching what at when and where. And so I know like Nintendo is doing a lot of like promotional things right now, but
they're also doing a lot of fuck people over things right now.
That's also true.
But the reason why the fuck people over things happening is because Nintendo is really pushing heavy on finding women, people who have a lot of like
Nintendo is stalking women. You heard it here, Broken on the Co-optional podcast.
Oh, man,
look,
gotta get that up.
I stand by that statement. Jump on that.
Fucking hound.
No, but like they're trying to attract women to play like 3DS and things like that, and so they're trying to find YouTubers or influencers who have large women audiences. And so that's what they're going for. And it's a really weird kind of thing. And so other people who are like, I've been with Nintendo for 45 years and I love Nintendo. They're like, sorry, you're not invited. We're going to invite John Smith, who has like a 95% female viewership instead.
Good luck finding any male YouTuber that has a 95% female viewership, though. I was shocked to find that Cry has such a large female viewership. He's got the voice, man.
That voice, man.
How many? What percentage of PewDiePie's viewers are female?
Significant.
PewDie has a lot of female viewers.
Yeah,
he has a lot of female viewers. Like people like me and Jesse,
40%?
we have jack shit.
Whoa! I'm happy with 16. 16%. That is a good percentage.
I got 4%.
16%.
4%. Apparently,
Ladies.
females are really not into long port reports and options menus discussions. Who fucking knew?
Yeah, wow.
Although the Co-optional podcast has a
40%
significantly
female now,
higher female
but
demographic.
40%? I need that. I need that.
But most of my ladies are okay. We have to do my ex-boyfriend in Space Tyrant. We gotta do that game still.
You need to do that.
Look, all I want, 16%. 16%! I need to get 20. I need to get 20%. 20%, ladies.
Markiplier apparently has a fairly large female demographic.
That's because they all want to do him. That's gross. But I will say, my number one, I still to this day, one of my favorite stats, and now it's number 2. It used to be number 1, but number 2, most viewed, women age 42 to 70-something.
Well done.
That's my favorite stat.
You got it.
Ladies, older.
How many people
ladies.
is that? How many? That's what I want to know. How many people?
It doesn't say how many people. It just says that's like percentage-wise. It goes like 13 to 18 boy, and then the next one underneath that is like
35 to
plus.
42-year-old women.
Yeah, like 35 plus. It's great. I love that. It used to be number 1.
That's an odd stat. I don't know how you get that.
Very odd.
I always assumed it was like, mom's account, and then like the kid was watching. Nope. I've met people. Nope, not at all. I'm on board. Ladies.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure I dropped 10% of my female demographic when we stopped doing Terraria. Like, Let's Play content is more popular amongst women than critique and review, as you might imagine.
That's true.
Well, not only that, but I mean, the fanfic was rampant, guys.
Oh, God. I've seen those pictures. Oh, my God. We need
the
less
TotalBiscuit
of that.
ship, it's still sailing.
No.
Still sailing.
I'm gonna say it.
Wow.
I'm a
There's
gay
a lot of gay
community
porn
icon.
out there of it. Let me put it that
I'm
way.
an icon in the gay community. I'm totally okay with that. I've never looked as good as I do in that erotic fan art.
You have a
Holy
point.
crap. I am super sexy in that fan art.
They took a few pounds off me as well. I'll give them credit for that.
I got like
a lot better.
I got like a 12-pack in those. And my wiener, like 45 inches. That thing is a leg. That thing is a
Wow.
leg.
I was going to say, that's an epic weapon in Terraria at that point.
Yeah.
It's a flail.
Oh
You just
my
wave it
God.
around your neck. Hey.
I've never been more thankful. I'm going to show that to the grandkids. Be like, this is what I was like when I was younger.
No. I think that's a bad idea.
It'll be
Okay.
the
You should
future.
show it to
They'll
the
be waiting for
grandmas.
the
You can show it to the
Apparently,
grandmas.
yes. That's the demo he's been hitting right now.
Right.
All right, well, we somehow, I'm not sure how we
got.
got here, but let's not. And let's get back for the next 25 minutes to play what we've been actually playing this week.
Okay.
Dodge, you've been playing something.
Yeah, I was literally like right before we went live. I've been spending this whole morning playing Darkest Dungeon. That game is so fun.
Tell us about Darkest Dungeon.
It's early access, so I know that you won't want to touch it.
I don't know, I might have a look at it anyway. It looks pretty fucking good.
It's so cool. Okay, so the idea of it is that you're like a young heir to this castle essentially, where the guy who was living in it before, you are related to him, and he basically writes you this letter where he's like, "Look, I had all the women, I had all the money, all the booze, and I got bored, so I opened a portal to hell, and then I shot myself. So if you could like fix this situation, that would be great." So you like show up into this town, and
At least he's honest about it.
Yeah, right? Up the hill is this castle where a portal in the darkest dungeon, right, has been opened. And so you hire on people to help you get through to the end. So it's you yourself only exist as like an idea. As far as like the people that you're controlling, it's all of these mercenaries and like bodyguards and knights and sorcerers and whoever that you're hiring. When they die, they're dead. They're like dead forever. So you just keep having to like hire people. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. I don't think anybody's going to die for a while. And then like the third week in, everybody died. Just like my whole team was just like dead. It's like, no. But it's really, really fun. Like the fear mechanic specifically, like their ability to stress out is so cool. So every time you take them out on like an expedition, I guess I'll say, like they come back and they have a certain amount of stress. And that's mostly what you do in the town, aside from like leveling up abilities and things, is you have different ways of helping them relieve stress. And depending on who they are, what class they are, different methods will work better, will help them relieve stress quicker. So unfortunately, when you like decide a way for them to be relieving their stress, you can't use them for that week. So your next trip, you have to hire new people. And if you get like a good rotation of people and you can like keep leveling them up and then, you know, putting them in to have them de-stress, then you're golden. But I didn't realize that first time that I was playing. So I had my knight who kept like saying little things like, "Don't make me go back out there. I don't want to go back out there. I really don't." And what happens is if you go on an expedition and their stress reaches full, then a lot of different things can happen that all have different effects. So like they could be overwhelmed by fear, in which case they might like not act at all. They might try to run away. They might just like jump to the back of the group because it's all turn-based combat. So they might like jump to the back of the group and be like, "I don't want to be here. Ah!" They might become super paranoid. Paranoid is the worst because when you have one person who's paranoid, they can spread that to everybody else. So somebody, you know, you're in combat, right? And somebody gets hit and she'll be like, "Why did you get hit? Are you working for them? Did you let that guy hit you? What's going on right now?" Right? Or like if you're in the dark, you're just like, why didn't we bring any torches? Is there a reason that you didn't buy more torches? Like what's going on right now? Like it spreads and everybody gets stressed out quicker. It's awful.
It sounds like the Co-optional Podcast Simulator, I've got to say.
It's so cool. It's really, really cool. So I would say when you play Darkest Dungeon, everybody, don't bring anybody out there with any amount of stress. Try to let them de-stress as much as possible. I think one of the most fun parts for me is figuring out like the ways that different people want to de-stress. Like some people want to go to church and like talk to God, and other people want to like flagellate, right? Like who knows? They might just want to like beat the crap out of themselves and be like, "I feel much better." You're just like, you have to figure out like what it is for them. There's a brothel. The barbarian chick, you send her to the brothel and she's like, "I feel great. Let's get back out there." It's like, it's amazing. It's really, really fun. The combat's super great. And when you are in like, I keep calling it an expedition. That doesn't really make any sense. But when you go out to do like a section of making your way toward the darkest dungeon, right? It's all like a map based thing. So you're in one room and you can stay in that room and then you decide where on the map you want to go to next. And so you have to go through like an alleyway. And if you have somebody in your team who can kind of scout ahead, you can get an idea of whether or not there's going to be combat in the future or like a chest that maybe you can open and things like that. It's super fun. I really, really like it.
It sounds kind of like Dwarf
played any of it.
It-
I never played Dwarf Fortress.
Nobody ever plays Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress.
You just read about it.
Dwarf Fortress is a game that happens to you. Like you don't happen to it. You have to understand this. it certainly seems like the whole losing is fun idea probably translates pretty well. But I mean, I'm watching it, kind of watching it being played. It's more of seems like a traditional dungeon crawler, but it's the stress mechanics and the psychology and the party management outside of the dungeon that seems like the bit which makes it different and interesting. The art style is quite good as well, I've got to admit. I like the way that it's 2D and it slightly tilts at an angle a little bit. Some nice art quality going on with that. I will definitely play it. I mean, it definitely looks like the kind of game that I would dig.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, it's been... I think what they did was a few days before they sent it out to select YouTubers and streamers to kind of get the hype going. Pretty sure there's no deal involved in it. It's just like, hey, you want to play our game early?
See? I don't even get approached by those guys. Come on. Darkest Dungeon. I'm loving that game.
Okay, Dodger, let's have a look at the content on your channel for just a moment and see why exactly it was that you were not approached by Darkest Dungeon. Okay, so the last few videos that you've put out...
What are you talking about?
News, Life is Strange... Towerfall, okay, so far so good. Touchin' Butts with Nagaki, Holiday Star, Hot Date with Okazan, Holiday Star Extras, The Second Reveal, Re-Alistair. These all have a common theme going on with them here. Mahjong Pretty Girls Battle Attempt. That might be why they didn't send you the Evil Dungeon game, Dodger. You put on a different kind of persona. Your demographic does not appear to work. Stop recommending nacho cheese. Oh, God, you fucking shill for nacho cheese.
Come work for me. Don't worry.
All you do.
Come work for Dodgeco.
Fucking snack taco.
Nacho cheese. Wait, so nacho cheese I think is a little bit better than Squarespace. Oh wait, am I not supposed to say that?
I don't. Right, for making websites, it's terrible. Like nacho cheese will not help you make a website. Squarespace will.
Agreed.
So
Very true.
if you're looking for that particular demo, if you're looking to eat Squarespace, I'd suggest that you don't. But nacho cheese might be an alternative in that respect.
You
Let's
could
just
create a
agree to disagree
website on
there.
Squarespace to order nacho cheese.
You could. They do have a free e-commerce functionality, which is very useful. So you could actually sell your own nacho cheese over Squarespace. Easy. There you go.
Oh man.
What can I say? We're good at our jobs. We're good at shilling. All right. What else have we been playing? Jesse, anything interesting this week that's sprang out?
I made a valiant effort after last week. I'm gonna try and do it every week. We talked about a few games last week that were coming out or that you guys had seen, and I was like, I'm gonna try and play them all.
Okay.
So
how many did you actually manage to play?
3. I managed to get through 3.
Okay, that's not bad.
So first, Gravity Ghost.
Great game.
Played
Love
that.
it.
I actually really like that game.
Yeah.
I think it's very short though. It's some of the
Depends
levels
how good you are at
literally
it.
seconds
I'm
long.
terrible at it, so it takes forever for me.
Here's the thing. I made a video that was like 40-some minutes long, and people were like, "You're actually really good at this game." I thought I sucked. I thought I was gonna get ripped apart. Apparently, it's a lot harder if you don't understand gravitational pulls. That's all I'm saying.
La-di-da, Mr. Ex-teacher.
Apparently, I figured it out. So I really, really like it. I think the story it's very simple. Really, it's sort of like deceptive. It's kind of like they're cute moments, like when you meet the different like
Animals
space
and
animals,
things. Yeah.
right? And they
Oh,
like
the mouse
sings a
dance,
song.
the mouse guardian. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, and then you have Ashley Birch doing like 90% of the voices, and so you have like this. It's sort of like this weird, cute feel to the whole game. I think it's great. It's a short, simple game that I would recommend simply for like the art and the sound. And like, I'm glad you played it because I would never have. It wouldn't even have crossed my mind to play
It
the
flew
game.
under most people's radars, which I think is a little bit of a shame. I mean, according to the Steam charts, it's not doing amazingly well right now. But I mean, ultimately, you are talking about an indie puzzle game essentially with no marketing budget, so you're not gonna see like the big explosion that a big zombie survival game's gonna get. I just hope it does well over time. I imagine it'll do really well in bundles. I would think.
Yeah, it's. I think it's great. I think it's a great game. Another game. I finally sat down and beat Grey Goo. The
Campaign's pretty
single
good for
player.
that. Although it
I will
ends on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I will simply say this. Grey Goo is a beautiful game. The music's fantastic. The cutscenes are beautiful. The like visuals literally stunning. It might be too slow for me.
A lot of people have said that.
At first, I was really excited because I was like, "Oh, slow means I can take my time. It won't be as crazy as StarCraft." By the end of it, I was like, "Oh my god, everything takes so long." I think because StarCraft, you have to micromanage you have to do so many different little things, and this you don't have to do that.
It's the polar opposite.
Yeah, and because of that, you feel like you have a lot of downtime where you're just waiting for things. And it drove me crazy. Like, instantly drove me. Other than that, it's a fantastic game, but holy crap. After a while, you're just like, let's go.
I think you want to play the multiplayer, because the multiplayer gets going really fast, because like even your first unit is going to be important to you, and then when you start putting units out, you instantly start scouting and trying to do damage. But in the campaign, there's a lot of waiting. I mean, there's a lot of missions which are literally just waiting. It's like, survive 30 minutes. Like, really? That just get...
I think you just... I wanted to check that out, but I think you just talked me out.
Here's the thing, though.
It's still a really good game.
The story is really good. The characters, holy crap.
The CG is amazing. Fucking incredible. Yeah.
It's next level. It's like, I would say it's almost as, like, I would say it's a little bit better than what Blizz has done, like, recently.
Yeah,
it's really good. And Blizzard's, like, known as, like, the CG guys. It's so good. Oh, my God. Like, the intros when the people talk to you on the screen, their faces are so...
They look real.
It looks like a mask or something is on someone, because it looks that real. It's crazy looking. I would definitely recommend that. Then I played Phantom Breaker as a totally different style game.
Yes.
That game is like, it's fun, but you have to really love the Animus to really appreciate
I
everything.
love the Animus, and I'm okay with it. I just love the mechanics.
I think, but to like appreciate the game, like all the silly things in it. Like there's the weird businessman and like the
guy with the cake
kid, the little fat dude who throws pies at you. But it's all like anime stereotypes. Like everyone you murder is like a stereotype that you've seen in like a manga many, many times. It's a very cute game, but like it's targeted for one specific audience. Like I'm sure there were things that I didn't understand, but I enjoyed it.
I don't think it is.
I just think it's a good brawler. I don't care about the Animu.
Because like Jesse, there are combos to learn in like a beat 'em up. Like that's so rare.
That's very true. It's not just spamming the same button. I appreciate that.
I also maybe that's I also had that problem. I was like, I just want to spam things.
Well, this is the game
Dynasty
for you, man.
Warriors.
This has got mechanics from fighting games, because the original Phantom Breaker was actually a fighting game, so they actually inherited some mechanics, which is what makes it interesting, because you've got to learn some of the fighting game principles to be effective in that game. It's really cool. So maybe you want a dumber brawler. Okay, we can find you some of those.
Dumber. I need to go back to, what was the one game with the big boob wizard? I want that game again. Make another one of those.
Dragon's
You
Crown.
brought up Dragon's
That's
Crown.
my favorite game.
More of those.
You managed to bring it up. You managed to bring it up. It's like, let's not talk to Jason Schreier about Dragon's Crown, and up it comes. Thanks, Jesse. Well done.
Oh, I didn't know that. Look, I
am always happy to talk about Dragon's Crown.
I
have no problem talking about it. It's funny. I think me screwing up and saying something stupid about the game's developer.
You did say something pretty dumb, I've got to say.
I think me saying something really dumb about the game's developer, and I totally admit that I said something dumb, put that game way more on the map.
Oh, okay, right. I see where you go with it. You're taking credit. All right.
This man
funny
went to the
thing
Jesse Cox School of Spin. I appreciate this. Jason, go on.
He's got a career in politics.
I'm going to tell you guys a story that I have never told anyone else.
All right.
First of all, allow me to say that people will never forget this and never stop bringing this up to me. Even though I've written thousands of articles.
Doesn't matter.
A million different
Internet
things.
never forgets. Gabe Newell said it, man. Gabe Newell said it.
Nacho Pope, man. Nacho Pope.
So people
Doritos
think,
Pope.
People
That's your
actually
Nacho Pope moment.
People actually think that I hate this game, even though like I thought it was an interesting game and I played a bit, and I was actually like one of the first people in North America to play it because I was in Atlas's office before they even did like official previews. So like I've played this game. I think it's an interesting game despite my distaste for the art style. And so here's a story I've never told anyone.
Disagree.
Story I've never told. Well, we don't have to get into that. That's just like a matter of personal taste. But I said something stupid about the game's developer. I mean, the full story, in case anyone hasn't heard it, is that just like I wrote a snarky blog post in like 5 minutes on a Friday night calling the developer, the artist, a teenage boy, because he drew this girl with like big jiggly breasts, and it was a whole thing. Later, I apologized to the guy. I like talked to him on Facebook and apologized to him, and we made up. And I wrote a whole thing about my real thoughts on the art style and blah blah blah. It's not super interesting. So afterwards, that Christmas. All these companies tend to send out Christmas cards. Like publishers, they send them to press. They have like their media Christmas cards.
There we have it. The evidence we need.
It's
Christmas.
total
the Christmas
collusion.
card
Collusion.
racket. The nepotism.
Everyone gets together. They have an email list where they tell
I
each
knew
other
it!
to send Christmas cards
We knew
at
this
the
was
same
happening.
time. So I get a Christmas card from Atlas, and it says like, "Thank you so much for your support this year." And I was
Lol.
like, "Oh my god, oh my god."
They did that on
Why?
purpose, and you know it.
No, yeah, no. It was a personal message to me. It was like, "Dear Jason, thank you so much for your support this year." And look, I don't mind. People like would send me messages when it came out that like it had sold really well. People were like, "Ha ha, Jason serves you right." And I was like, "Dude,
As
I
if
don't
you had some
care.
personal
I want all
investment
video
in it.
games to sell well. I like." Yeah, like people think I hate this game just because I thought the art style was kind of gross, and like there's such a I mean the internet tends to see things in black and white, as I think we've all seen, and so people don't realize that like I might think a game looks like has problems with its art style but still enjoy that game, or like I might have a distaste for a game's art but still not want it to fail. So like I'm perfectly happy that like I like Vanillaware's other games. So it was interesting to see that and to get that message. But really, I mean, I talked to the artist. I think we are on decent terms, even though he doesn't speak English. I've apologized many times for that comment, and
He didn't
I have
understand a word that
no
you said. He
problem.
thinks you're still
Yeah,
insulting him
he's
to this
like,
very day.
This guy
No,
hates me.
I think he was using Google Translate. I think he was using
Oh, that'll
Google
go
Translate.
well.
But it's funny. I mean, I have, yeah, right. I like am fully willing to admit that I made a mistake. Will make many more mistakes. That is the nature of human beings. Said something stupid. Shouldn't have said that. Totally regret it. And I moved on. I moved on a long time ago. A lot of people have not
Internet
moved
didn't.
on and still enjoy talking to me about it. But
Yep, enjoy
what
that.
can I do? What can I do other than just
Hey, what can I say?
continuing to try to
Something
do good
awful
stuff?
post from 9 years ago. No one forgot that. They're never going to let me forget it. You just have to fucking deal with it. It's on the internet
I
forever
say
now.
something controversial every week so that people can they can't keep up.
Right.
I gotta
that's the
stay ahead of 'em.
solution. Just keep saying stupid things on Twitter.
Every week, that's
the
my
real-
Be
plan.
consistent. Be consistently moronic. It's that simple.
They'll never catch up. What are they gonna do? They're always a week behind. Like I said that last week. I moved on.
Absolutely. Incidentally, my wife fucking loves the art style of that game and plays the character with the largest breast she can find. She has the art book for it. And that art book is
I think that's cool.
pretty explicit.
Yeah, but it's an art style. It's the same. I agree.
There's
with
a
you.
lot of
Some
sexy
people
men in there.
cannot
If you
it,
like
yeah.
18 packs, it's got a lot of that. And very small heads for some reason. Huge barrel-chested
Huge bodies
men.
and tiny
Oil. Tiny head. Like, for no reason. Oh, dear.
It's really bizarre. And a lot of, I mean, I played, what was the name? Odin Sphere.
Sphere's
Vanillaware's other game. That was like such a gorgeous game and such a fun game to play. I've liked a lot of their games actually. And people don't realize that. I see people on Twitter with like anime avatars and like in their bios it says like, I am Vanillaware's #1 fan. They like will tweet at me constantly about how awful a person I am and about how I must hate Dragon's Crown. And I'm like, dude, I mean, I like Vanillaware's games. I like most Japanese games. I like interesting, weird, quirky games, and I'm sure I will play the next Vanillaware game to come along. Hopefully, I will not call its designer a teenage boy. Hopefully, I will.
I would
not
suggest
Hopefully
not
it'll
doing
bring
that
that in.
again. That's probably a bad idea, all things
I
considered.
will do my best. It's funny because that was one of those posts that like we were talking before about quantity, and one of the real I mean not downsides, but one of the real challenges at a site like Kotaku is writing as much as we do and like keeping consistent and not like throwing in the towel for anything and not like doing something half-assed. And that was one of those posts where like it was a Friday night. I needed like one more post to just like round out the night. I was like, oh, here's a trailer of the Sorcerers from Dragon's Crown. I'll just write something snarky. And like afterwards it exploded and I was like, God damn it. Like I wrote that in 5 minutes. I should have just not done that. But you live and learn, and like I've learned from that and not done
And you will
things like
continue
that
to learn
again.
as you're beaten by the internet over the course of the next 45
It's
years for
good.
saying it. Welcome,
It's
welcome to the
true.
internet.
It keeps us honest. The internet keeps us very honest.
That's
That
true.
is so
They try,
That's
well, they
also-
try.
It also keeps us thick-skinned. It also makes sure that we
Kinda. Sometimes. Sometimes it also drives you into therapy. But, you know,
that's
never
also
mind.
True.
that's also a thing. Well, so too, anyone watching this who took offense to that, I apologize to you because I said something stupid I should not have, and I've moved on. I've lived and learned.
You're in good company. You're in good, stupid speaking company. We've
Oh,
all
yes.
said stupid stuff.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Every one of us.
Yep.
It's okay.
Yep, and there's also all sorts of plenty of controversial topics. My wife is currently going berserk on Twitter about something, which I actually didn't know about. There's, I don't know if you've heard about this. There's apparently a tournament. It's a female-only tournament for, for Riot.
Oh, yeah, the League of Legends tournament.
Yeah,
where
have you read?
It's
read about
crazy.
this? I mean,
It's
I want to do this one after the break because this will give me time to read the article because apparently this is a big deal. I have a few things to say on that as well because we had issues with StarCraft and female-only tournaments and the fact that we don't have many female pro gamers as well. It's a breaking story at the moment. Riot has apparently distanced themselves immediately from it, unsurprisingly. So I need to read up on this before we say something fucking stupid. So we're gonna take a break, which will give us the opportunity to do that, and then we can dive into this subject because we don't shy away from such things here on the show. You're watching the Cross Show podcast. Do not go anywhere. Here's some advertisements. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the co-optional podcast for the final hour of the show. This is where the controversial stuff usually happens. This is where we get into things. And as it turns out, someone done fucked up. So we're getting into it. Because that's what we do on this show. We do very, very risky punditry that sometimes gets us into trouble, but that's okay.
Super risky.
And then make weasel noises.
This isn't even... Look.
This isn't even risky. Go Dodger.
It's not. This isn't even a topic where, like, any of us would be like, I don't know, I kind of agree. Like, literally none of us... Well, actually, no. Jesse fully agrees.
No. All I said while reading the article earlier was that, to me... It seems like they're saying the LGBT community is just better at League. I think that's what they're saying. They're just much better at League than everyone else. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so.
If anything, they should be invited to every, like, I feel like it's stupid, but I think the writing's on the wall, people. I think we know what they're really saying.
All right, Dodger, round the story up. What is the story?
Yeah.
Okay, so... there is a League of Legends tournament going on. It is all ladies, and they decided to put out a statement saying that you can only have one gay or transgendered person in your group because of unfair advantages in having more than that.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, oh my God. I don't know how many more years. Like, how much longer until everybody's going to be like, I think maybe being gay only affects who you bang?
No, it clearly affects how good you are at League.
It clearly affects your abilities to do many things in life.
I stand by my statement. They are, without a doubt, top tier. Top LGBT, top tier of League. I'm sorry, kid in his dorm room who called me gay all those times I played League. Guess what? I was better than you in the end, turns out.
Yeah,
like,
wait, maybe it was a compliment. Like you're saying, "Oh, you're gay."
Oh, I never
you're
thought
really
of it that
good
way.
at the
I
game.
get it now. League is so friendly. I never realized that.
That's the best joke you came up with all day. Well done.
Oh man.
So
oh man.
League is known for its
friendly over
accepting
there.
community.
Yeah.
At first, when I was reading this, I was wondering if it was because of like some skewed understanding of like, well, maybe some of these women were actually men, and thus like their male abilities at the game would be better, even though now they transitioned to being a woman. Like that was the only possible way for me to skew this in my mind, where I was like, maybe they're formatting in their mind that like somebody who could possibly be more masculine would have an advantage at the game, which, look, this is just like awful on so many different levels. But I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, okay.
Right, I think that's what their logic was. That like, that, like if you're, but that logic is just like inherently so sexist and horrible.
Oh yeah,
it's just hard to
it
wrap
is.
Wait, but then does that logic mean that as a lesbian, because you want to be with women, you are more masculine than a normal? Like that doesn't make any sense. That's insane logic.
Now my brain's just melting out of my ears just hearing this stuff.
Imagine to yourself, like a very homophobic idea of what a lesbian is. Is it like a very butch woman? Because that implies some masculinity.
I think man.
Okay, Rather than just expressing our
saying,
disbelief.
I have
coming
no
from
clue.
that standpoint.
It's
Okay, all right.
Well,
It's
they all
nonsense.
want to be men, so they're gonna act like men. Like, I don't even.
Okay, right. So
It doesn't make any sense.
well, let's get into it then, instead of just because anyone can say this is dumb. Now we can talk about why it's dumb, and we can also talk about like esports in general when relating to female players. So I can talk from the position of StarCraft, right? In pretty large amounts of detail. There is one competitive female gamer in StarCraft 2. Her name is Scarlet. She's considered, at least was, to be one of, if not the best foreign, i.e. non-Korean player to ever play the game. Some people would say that. A lot of other people would say, that Stefano was the best, but there's some argument there. She's definitely top 3. She's transgender, male to female, yeah? So, initially, of course, when she came onto the scene, there was a lot of curiosity. Most of it innocent, because, hey, people are they're not really sure. And some of it hostile, which, of course, resulted in a lot of people in the community coming out and saying, fuck you, that is not okay. You don't get to treat people like this. And I think, for the most part, the StarCraft 2 scene eventually calmed down, and the trolls were the trolls. People are saying Madalisk. Madalisk is not a competitive player. Please stop pretending that she is. I'm sorry. There is a world of difference between the skill level of Scarlet, who was world class at her peak, as in she was beating top Koreans, she was winning tournaments, and Madalisk, who has not won a single tournament that wasn't female only. I don't think she's even placed in one that was an open. Only female-only tournaments. And she's like high masters level. She's under no circumstances anywhere close to being as good as Scarlet. So, those are kind of the facts about Scarlet. And they got a little bit strange, but we never really ran into a situation, I don't think, where Scarlet deliberately went out and competed in a female-only tournament. Because there are female-only tournaments in StarCraft. They do exist. They are competed within. And there are some female gamers that play at a reasonably high level, but not high enough to play on the world stage. Not even close. Like, they would get destroyed, and do when they try. It's cool that they try, but they're nowhere near good enough. So, the question became in the community, is there a reason for female tournaments to exist? And what are the positives and negatives of that? And then, this is where things get difficult, and this is where things tie in nicely to this subject. Who makes the call? This is a really horrible thing to say. Who makes the call as to who is allowed into a female-only tournament? Like, is there a panel of people that says, okay, you identify as female, ergo you are female and can play in this tournament? Right. What are the rules related to that? And it becomes a minefield, an absolute minefield.
Like sex versus gender and things like that.
Huge minefield. And then, of course, the idea that some people would pretend in order to get into a tournament which is going to have a weaker lineup. Like, it's not unfair to say that. Like, if you take StarCraft 2 and you took all the female pro gamers and you took all the male pro gamers, then the male pro gamers are going to beat the women. Like, that's just going to happen. They're not going to literally beat the women. Not that. That was a bad choice of phrase. They're going to play the game and they're going to win more matches. Because
my mind never even went there, TV.
Sorry. It's just the reality of it. There was one world-class female pro gamer, one, in StarCraft 2, versus a lot more men. It's that simple. That's the reality of it.
I mean, just like taking the pool of... Oh, bye, Jason.
It's okay. He'll be back
Jason,
in a minute.
bye. He's back.
I'm back.
I mean, when you look at the pool of people, like...
What the hell is that noise?
Jason's audio.
Jason, what's up with your audio?
man.
Beautiful.
Can you hear me? Am I okay now?
It sounded like there was a party in your apartment.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I just had a 10-second party, had them all leave. It was
fabulous.
Crazy.
Was it a female-only party? Was it fun?
You guys really... I wish.
Indeed.
All
right, yes. So back onto that. So I think the first thing to address, because otherwise this is going to be a minefield of a discussion that we can't get around. First thing to address, female-only tournaments. I think legitimacy of them, benefits of them, downsides, if any.
Well, I think, and Dodger, I'm sure will have more about this to say than anyone, but I feel like, of course, they're legitimate things, but just by existing, doesn't that say like we need to have a tournament for women because they can't compete in the same league as like it's a very weird thing. Like, of course it's legitimate, it's a tournament, it's a sanctioned tournament, but it's also like, isn't the implication there that we need to have another thing for the girls because they're a little worse than the guys? Isn't that the assumption?
Sorry, Jason, go for it.
No, you go ahead. I think your perspective is more valuable here, but I do have a response to Jesse after.
That is a horribly sexist thing to say.
Yeah, how dare you?
Totally.
Implying that I am female.
God damn it.
No, I'll just because who knows?
Shut up, Jesse. Don't even.
All I was gonna say was that from my perspective, it's more of like a security thing. Like, sure, there are tons of women who will absolutely take offense to that and say, if I want to compete, I want to compete against, the best that I can. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there is like a weird form of security in playing against other women who play the game, mm-hmm. and then gaining the confidence that way to move on, which is in itself is inherently kind of sexist. Like, well, if I can beat the girls, then I can compete with the boys, right? But it's a thing. It's definitely a thing that girls think. Like, if I can be the best of the girls, then maybe I can compete with the boys. And that kind of like plays into, I think, the psychology of wanting to be in those tournaments is like a stepping stone. It's not a place that you want to be. It's a place to prove to yourself you can go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like, and females are not excluded from any other tournaments. There are open tournaments and then there are women-only tournaments. Mm-hmm. So, women have access to more tournaments than men do. But that's just the reality. There's no reason to exclude women from men-only tournaments. None. Especially since only one of them, at least in StarCraft, has ever actually been able to compete with any of them.
Yeah, and so I also think being not a woman myself, but having watched women in my office and elsewhere.
Do you have binders full
games,
of women, Jason?
I do. And they all play video games. And
all
they
of
all
them?
play video games.
Wow.
Every single one. So having watched coworkers and friends play games, playing games online while a woman is very different than playing games online while a man. And I think that when you're playing online games and tournaments and competitive games, I think being around other women insulates you and protects you from the sort of horrible insults and treatment and behavior that a large group of men will start engaging in when there's one woman playing in a large tournament. So like you hear all the time about all these incidents where a woman might be harassed because she's a minority and it's mostly men around and there's going to be a couple of bad apples there. I think when it's all women in one specific tournament in one specific area, it's a lot more. I think it's a lot more.
Although amusingly enough, I believe it was in a female-only Counter-Strike Go tournament that an actual fist fight broke out between two of the teams, and that might have been one of the only incidents in esports of that actually happening.
Really?
Competitive women versus competitive women are fucking vicious. I don't know if you ever went to school, but if you watched women fight, holy shit, they're vicious. Like we had a fight at school. It would, if it was a guy on a guy, it would be punching and wrestling and possibly gay touching. But with women, it was like heel in the face.
No, possibly always.
Oh, always with the groping. It would be, I take your head and I smash it on this concrete floor. It was fucked up. Like. You gotta watch out.
So the assumption here is it's less about like they're not as good, but more like think of it like NBA WNBA. Like it's a safe environment. Like that's what you guys are saying. Then
I disagree. I disagree on this point, and I think Dodger might have the same point because NBA WNBA is about physical biological facts. Yeah, it's about the idea that women cannot compete on the same level as men with the same level of training.
Isn't that how we started this, though? It wasn't that the assumption to begin with?
Yeah, but that's not the case in esports. Like, there's no biological reason that we know of that women can't play just as well as men in a computer game. That we know of. So it seems to me it's more of a social aspect that less women want to be competitive in these games. And as a result, what you do to try and encourage some of that is you create tournaments that are, as you said, kind of female-on-female environments where they can just kind of gain confidence and really grow as a competitive player.
Yeah, and anything that encourages more women to play games, especially competitive games, can only be a good
Absolutely.
thing for
why the hell
esports.
would we want everything to be a sausage fest? Come on. I mean,
Right.
obviously, like my priority is the quality of the games, but if I can have more people of different people around me while I'm doing that, that's great. But I mean, if you compare it to WNBA, it's just not even. It's not even a contest. Like there was the incident where Serena Williams and Venus Williams played against a fairly low-ranked pro male tennis player to try and prove that they could be just as good, and they weren't. It's that simple. They physically couldn't keep up. That was just the biological reality. Top female tennis player in the world couldn't keep up with like a rank 100, 200 male player, and he was past his prime as well. That's a physical reality. But the thing is, those biological realities don't exist in esports, which is why I think the transgender issue in particular is irrelevant. If someone is identifying as a woman, they're a woman. It's that simple.
Yeah.
There is no biological advantage.
But that's
Scarlet
the assumption here.
That's the assumption. I don't know if that's scientifically true. I don't know if there's any proof for that.
So you're just saying, and God, I love playing devil's advocate here. It's always fun
someone
for me.
has to.
Yeah. So what
Especially,
you're saying, though,
Tumblr can go and get you instead of me.
Yeah, I
That'll
don't
be
care.
nice.
So what you're saying though is like, the assumption here is that they're saying because if at some point in your life you identified as a man, that gives you a benefit over like in this tournament of all women. And is it saying that because there's just a small pool of women players that they don't know that out there somewhere could be the best player ever of League, for example, just hasn't picked up the game yet because she hasn't been interested? Or because it seems like what they're saying is it's a biological thing. Like,
if they're
currently
saying
the
it's a
evidence
biological thing, they
suggests-
better fucking be able to prove that, because
Well, I
I'm
think
pretty
they're
sure they're
saying the
wrong.
evidence
Yeah.
currently
Well-
suggests that since there is no woman who's better than X guys, then that must be the case. Like, I think that's
Correlation
what
doesn't
they're
equal
saying.
causation. Yes,
I agree,
Dodger.
but I think that's what they're saying.
I also think we should make it very clear, because I don't think that we've mentioned this. This is happening in Southeast Asia.
Yes.
This is not
It's
like
a Garena tournament.
yeah. This is happening in a place that has a fairly established like patriarchal system.
That I won't comment on because I don't have any historical basis for it. But
Yeah.
I don't know enough to make a comment on that.
So I'm just saying.
Oh, I know.
my
I can
goodness.
tell you for sure that for StarCraft, when Scarlett played in Korea, she was made very welcome, and she also lived in my team house for several months, which obviously the rest of my players are male South Koreans. No problem at all. Like it was all about the StarCraft. In fact, she actually got a lot of fans in South Korea, especially when the makeup people really went to town on her hair. They really wanted to do that, so they did, and she looked great. And she had a really good time in Korea, from what I'm told.
Let me correct myself really quickly before chat jumps on me. My wording about identifying as a man before it was wording. It was wording to express what I was saying. My apologies to any transgender viewers who never identified as a man. I did not mean it that way. My apologies.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Anyone who has
yeah.
been perceived by society
Thank
for
you.
a certain period of time
That's what I meant.
as male.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I was
interesting.
referring.
It's interesting, Jesse, that like I mean it's interesting that we go there because this is such a murky territory and such a strange new world to navigate for a lot of people. I think that transgender issues have only really come into the spotlight relatively recently over the past few years, and it's good that we're all like learning and educating ourselves more and like being willing to fail when talking about this stuff. As far as female only tournaments, I feel like there must be some untapped potential like group of women. I mean, there must be women all over the world who like can play games really well but don't feel comfortable enough to go into like the all male environment.
League has a
atmosphere
significant
of, like, esports
female
tournaments.
demographic. It's actually the game. I believe it's the MOBA, whatever you want to call it, with the highest female demographic. They were saying something like, I'm pulling this kind of off my head because I can't remember where the number was, but it was like 15%, which for a 65 million player game is a lot of women that are playing that game. Huge female fan base. For something that competitive, that's quite rare, because we were talking earlier about demographics and the idea that core games appeal to men in many ways. And you have to ask, well, why is that? Like, if you just swapped all of the protagonists for a female, would that actually significantly increase the number of females willing to play those kind of games? Chances are probably not, because we're talking about genres here. When you talk about the kind of games that a lot of females like to play, social and mobile games are really up there. They dominate. Like, there's a significantly larger female demographic playing those kind of games on mobile than there are men playing them. And you got to ask why that is.
Though.
I think
it wouldn't hurt.
I think when you talk about women playing more games, and I think we would all agree that we wish there were more women in the hardcore gaming community and playing lots of games, and that we wish it was more evenly balanced. I think it starts from the game developers, because I think if you look at a lot of the games, I mean, Dragon Age is a perfect example of a game that a lot of women like. And one of the big reasons for that is they have a lot of women writers on their staff, and they have a lot of women developers on their team. I think if you get more of those voices in those companies, then that's where you start. It's not about changing the skin or changing the gender of a character. It's about like designing from the ground up to make games that appeal to more people.
I think that
but
there's
also,
definitely... Sorry, Dodger, go ahead.
All I was going to say was it's also like an overtime social issue, right? Like if we're talking about tournaments, I think that for sure it'll take having a few different women in multiple different spaces of esports, like doing well in tournaments that are high profile. And that, like, you know, just like with anything.
It's more than that. I think the thing is that I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I think I'm probably right on this one, that competitive hardcore female gamers are probably looked down upon by their peers, and certainly people like their parents, more than a male would be in that particular area. Like, it would be viewed as ridiculous for a lot of people. Like, for a lot of adult women that would say, oh, one of my friends is playing StarCraft competitively? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And that would come from an adult woman saying that. It probably wouldn't be men saying it. Men would be pretty cool. It's like, oh, you're playing StarCraft? That's great. We can talk about that. You know, we have something in common. But for women, I think there is a big social stigma for being a hardcore gamer in any form, and especially a pro gamer. I think there's a huge
especially
stigma.
As an adult, I think.
I mean,
so.
There's already a social stigma just being a pro gamer or a gamer in general as an adult for some stupid reason. I think the stigma for women coming from other women, I'm speculating here, but I would suggest that is far higher. And that could be, I mean, a lot of the things that are keeping women back from playing these games competitively are social issues. It's not the community keeping them out. It's actually the people outside of the community keeping them out. Because they're saying this is dumb and you shouldn't be spending your time on it.
History nerd moment. Society has always tried to dictate what women should and shouldn't be. Always. And every sort of generation has its different, like, what a woman should be. And it's always... like, there are many women who are like, this is not right at all. But society always has this sort of ideal. And you can go to the 50s where it was like getting married right away. Like, you're out of high school, get married, right? You can go, like, as time goes on, it's always different about what you should be. Like, you shouldn't be in the workplace. Like, oh, well, if you want to be a strong woman, you have to be in the workplace. Like, it's a weird, it's always different. But society tries to tell women what to be, not women, like be what you want to be. It's like what society tells you to be. And it's always been that way. And that's when things will change, is when society says it can't handle it.
I was literally about to say that, like, we've done this weird shift from, like, you should be, you know, learning how to be a good wife, learning how to be a good mom, like, that should be your goal. And now it's done like a big flip where it's like, you need to be out there doing something important so that other girls can see, you know, that women can do big, important things. And if you're not doing something big and important, then you're a waste. Is basically like
my wife made the same comment. Actually, it was on a discussion about stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home dads, and like the stigma and the way that things have shifted around is potentially damaging. Because again, you're talking about removing the choice of people. Mm-hmm. It's their call what they do. Like
that whole idea that if your goal with your life is to be a stay-at-home mom, then like that's not feminist, and it's like it is. If that's what she wants to do and she gets to do that, that's feminism. Like, absolutely.
Of course it is.
And if you want to be like a high-powered CEO and you go for that and you're able to, then sick, awesome. But like, the big point is that women can do whatever they want with their lives and men can do whatever they want with their lives. And like, the end. Right. It's very weird.
And that comes with the problem with pro gaming as well. That just with pro gaming in general, society still thinks that pro gaming is a waste of time. Like even South Korea, the place where the best pro gamers come from, huge culture of listen to your parents, go to school, get a job after university in these areas. and stick to these traditional society roles. And most of the people playing StarCraft, I've seen plenty of documentaries where they've had to push against society to even do what they want to do. And that's the males. I mean, for the females, it's even worse. So it's a very hard thing to do. And I think that the female-only tournaments are important to make sure that there is a space for people to compete. And I don't think it's necessarily down to the fact that they would be bullied by male competitors in tournaments. I don't think that's really true. I don't know much about the tournament scenes outside of StarCraft 2, but generally speaking, tournaments in StarCraft 2 are very respectful, and you get disqualified for that shit. You don't get to pull that, and you get condemned by the community.
I don't think it's just the only just the other competitors. I mean, like, you look at Twitch during I was watching Awesome
Twitch
Games
chat?
Done Quick the other week. No. I was
going to say that doesn't represent anything other than 13-year-olds spamming
culture...
mean idiots. I mean, do you think
hey,
like?
but that's I think that's a part of culture around. I mean, I think Twitch chat is a part of gaming culture for sure. Competitive gaming culture. Any streamer. I mean, Twitch chat is not something that we can just ignore and say, oh, it's just a bunch of 13-year-olds. It's not something you can just pretend doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, we can't pretend it doesn't
just
exist, but
because of that.
Well, I would dismiss it because it's eye cancer. Like, that's the reason I dismiss it. But I mean, we have a sub-only chat for that very reason. I think
right.
Twitch chat is real-time shit posting. Like, it's a mob mentality in Twitch chat.
I think I would rather the perspective of we should be creating an environment where that stuff happens less or doesn't happen, rather than just saying, oh, fuck it, it's mob mentality, let's ignore it and
well, I mean, I just don't see what we can do about it. Like, outside of doing the sub-only chat, which has worked really well for us, like an open Twitch chat that's not heavily moderated just doesn't work ever. It doesn't matter what it is. No. It will be terrible.
Well, to get back to my first point, when I was watching Awesome Games Done Quick, a lot of the Twitch chat was like, whenever a woman would appear on screen, it was like, oh my god, grill.
That's fucking obnoxious.
Right. And I think if you're watching a women-only tournament, it's not the same thing because everyone's a girl. It's not an exceptional thing for an attractive lady to appear on screen.
If you're watching a woman-only tournament, it's what I saw. I watched those Awesome Games Done Quick too. And if there was more than one woman on, it wasn't girl go girl. It was like, oh, who's the fat bitch who just came on? Like, it was really mean, And I imagine that in an all-woman tournament, it would be like there would be a weird like chat ranking of like who's the hottest and what hot girl. Like, that's how I know that would go down.
Okay, so I have a slight disagreement with that. I think that the thing is that female-only tournaments, especially in StarCraft 2, are not actually that well watched. Like, generally speaking, because the skill level is lower, there's a degree of curiosity, but I think Twitch chat gets to a critical mass where it becomes awful. Like, there's a certain level that it's manageable, and I think for some female-only tournaments, sorry. I like orange juice, I'm sorry. Very serious about
man,
this.
all that candy.
Very serious.
So I think and it's not like Twitch chat doesn't shit on men as well. They shit on everybody. Like,
yeah, of course they do.
You go to Reynad's stream, or Crip stream, or anyone's stream for Hearthstone, it is 20,000 people shitting on the stream.
Yeah, F Crip though, for real though, guys. F Crip.
Don't start a fight with Crip. God damn it.
For real though, F Crip.
But yeah, I mean, there's always going to be this critical mass, and it's going to depend on exactly what it is. And I think for smaller tournaments, you won't have that. Like, there'll be the occasional troll, but you can get away with it. Once it reaches a critical mass, it snowballs because the whole copy pastorino thing just gets going, and people just do what the other guys are doing, and that's it. That you're done at that point. There's nothing really you can do about it other than kind of moderate the chat and make it limited by subscription or whatever. I mean, I think Twitch chat is another issue entirely. I don't know if... I don't think that level of toxicity, at least in my experience with StarCraft 2, that level of toxicity hasn't really been there for female-only tournaments, but it's perhaps because the view count hasn't been high enough to really bring a large amount of people in.
But League, I imagine...
I don't know. How many female tournaments have there been for League? There haven't been that many, right?
I don't
any?
follow League at all.
Have there been any?
I mean, I have no clue. I think
the first one? Don't worry, the bar is really low, everybody.
I'm looking.
I think if mob mentality applies, though, and the assumption is that if the mob gets too crazy, they're going to be like, oh, look at the boobs on that one or whatever. shouldn't there be people in that mob who standing like I guess it changes.
You want to stand against the tide? I mean,
the mob doesn't go with that. The mob's like, shut up.
Yeah, the problem is they don't. I mean, and I don't know why that is. Is it because viewer demographics? It could be. It's going to depend on a game-by-game basis. Like, viewers for StarCraft 2 are generally older than viewers for League of Legends. That's just a demographic reality, so you're going to have a different flavor of chat
they're
there.
guys. Or they're guys. I don't want to spoil the game, but
well, yeah, it's a shitload of guys.
I think part of it is that seeing a girl at something like Awesome Games Done Quick was considered an exception. And I think that, I mean, you're always going to have internet hate,
there aren't that
you're
many
always going to have
female
anonymous mobs.
speedrunners. It's that simple.
Right. Well, no. Yeah, I'm saying like the more gaming culture grows to include more women, the less of that we'll see. I think. I mean, I think we'll always have hatred, but
with that said, men with anonymity will still be men with anonymity and still be assholes.
Of course.
Still,
totally.
No matter what. Even if there's
we will always see that.
More women in gaming, which technically in mobile games, for example, there are. Still,
well, yeah, we're outnumbered in mobile.
Yeah, as demographics grow, it still doesn't matter because guys on the internet will still be guys that, like, at their base core, a lot of them will be assholes just because they can. And there just needs to be other men who.
It's
who
not
are
like women don't do that
out.
as well. I think someone did the comparison of abuse towards One Direction fans, which was almost exclusively women, and that was disgusting. Like, there was some really horrible shit said from women to other women on Twitter. They did a study of it. It was ridiculous. Like, it's not like it's just guys. The reason we're seeing guys is because guys are the primary demographic on Twitch. That's why we're focusing on guys and what they say. If you go to somewhere else, if you go to a comment section of a female-oriented website or a Twitter hashtag that involves a boy band, it's women tearing up other women, like in a really vicious way.
It's bad.
Absolutely.
Cannon fights.
Yeah, but okay. So the other issues on this, like, this is a really difficult thing because I think this is why the limitation is fucking stupid. Because if you put the limitation in place, you've got to have someone that judges whether or not the person is transgender. Like, and that's like, you can't do that. Like, that's not okay.
No. Because that has to do with like a person's perception of themselves and how they present themselves to the world.
You shouldn't have to tick things off in a list. Come on.
Yeah.
It's
So if they would have to interview every single person and be like, do you identify male or female? Like,
oh God.
It's just like, oh God, it would be awful, guys.
I think the risk of having a man come in and pretend to be a woman, I think that risk is worth.
Yes.
I think like the drawback of I think I would rather like be as inclusive as possible at risk of
it's like, oh no,
like allowing men to come in and
a man
pretend to be women.
might turn up.
Wait, whoa. Are you guys saying that their thought process here is that they're afraid of like the 80s and 90s movie trope of a man dressing up as a woman to go in like a sports team?
It's white chicks.
And like win.
Yes.
It's white chicks, the esports event.
I mean, that's what this whole thing is about.
That's what they're
That's
thinking.
literally, they're
It's
thinking
Tootsie.
that if you are a man or a gay woman and thus like a manly woman,
That is the
then
dumbest
you-
shit I've ever heard.
then
Like,
you will be
that's the one
better
that
at
gets
the
me the
game.
most.
You're gonna sneak
It's like,
into
well,
the tournament.
she's kind of a man.
Totally.
No, she's not kind of a man.
That's gonna be
What?
Juana Man 2 is going to be an esports
So
player.
they can only
and
have
it's
one man.
Shut up. Shut up.
One
That
man
is the
per team.
stupidest. This
one
isn't.
manly person per team.
Jesus Christ.
I can't believe if that is their logic. That is
They are the dumbest people on the
insane,
planet.
but hilarious. That's insane, but hilarious. Like, we can't have them. Oh my God, that's a plot of a movie. It's a plot of a bad 90s movie.
Yeah.
Where are the Wayans brothers? Call them now. That needs to be made. Shut up. That is dumb. That's dumb. It's stupid. It's as stupid as it sounds, strangely enough.
Yeah, the whole thing is dumb, and I hope they get smacked around by Riot for doing it. I really do. And I hope that the community... And there is a good community backlash. Hey, for once, I actually agree with things posted on r/League of Legends. That, I think, has never happened in the history of the internet. But they actually are making good points on this and saying that this is fucking dumb. And I am absolutely in agreement with that. It's ridiculous. Like, if what you're doing is creating a tournament for people who are not necessarily well represented, then just do that and don't fulfill a fucking quota. And frankly, to people in chat are like, yeah, this is boring. I'm sick of talking about transvestites and feminists. I don't give a fuck. Leave. Get out.
Yeah, get over it.
I don't give a
Well
shit.
said. Well
I don't give a
said.
fuck if you think that. It's my show. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. If you don't like it, tune out. We won't miss you. Go.
Yeah, it's too bad. I think it's good that these days people are talking about these sort of issues a lot more than they used to. And I think games coverage has really evolved in a lot of good ways in that we're talking about sexism and transgenders and other parts of gaming
It's
other parts of
legitimate
humanity.
esports news. Like, it's a huge
totally.
deal to the point where Riot commented on it. This is the news section. You don't want to hear news? Get the fuck out and listen to a more irrelevant show then. There's plenty around that
They
you can
just
pick
came
from.
for the weasel noises, man.
Yeah, that's
I
all they
know.
did. Fucking weasel noises.
You're good. You're good. Now keep listening to the other cool
Get
stuff.
out of here.
Idiots. All right. Yes, we lost a whole 0% of our viewers. Right, okay, well, let's get on to some of the news, because I think we've all kind of got to the point where we just... the fact of the matter is, like, we have dealt with some deep shit topics over the last few weeks, and I'm going to continue to deal with deep shit topics, and if you don't fucking like it, you can stop listening to the show. It's really that simple, and I don't care if you do, because I'm going to do the show that I want to do, and I don't care about the fucking numbers. That's
good. Now
simple.
that they're out of here, let's move on and
Let's talk about
something
weasels.
else anyway.
Now
Right,
those
so-
assholes are gone. Let's talk about the things they wanted to talk about.
Indeed, yeah. Let's get rid of them now. All right, so yeah, there's been a few other things. So yeah, the Techland modding thing was quite the ordeal. So what happened was Techland brought out Dying Light, and it had some problems here and there. Let's just put it that way. And they brought there was a couple of little mods that came out to try and fix some of this stuff. Like there was a mod that got rid of the film grain effect, for instance. And these mods were DMCA'd on the places that they were stored. Mediafire, basically, is where they were put. They're tiny little modifications. And they were removed under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, and people went apeshit as a result of this, because they said Techland is censoring modders, Techland is not modder-friendly. So there was a whole hoo-ha about that, and the conclusion, at least according to the ESA at any rate, in a statement that they made, was that they egregiously put out DMCA claims on Dying Light mod files that apparently they thought were piracy of some description, and they had a third-party company do it. They referred to it as copyright infringement, essentially, which is not. Modding is not copyright infringement. And there was a huge uproar over the rights of modders and the fact that this game had some problems, and enterprising people went and fixed them, and then the ESA came and bapped them on the head for it. It's just a whole fucking ridiculous PR disaster. I cannot believe that this would happen.
I will never understand why game developers, gaming companies would be afraid of modding. Because if anything, it extends the life of your game. It
does.
adds new stuff to the
It
game.
does.
It
Totally.
blows
If you're
my mind
afraid
why
of
anyone
modding,
would
it's
fear
probably
that.
because you want to sell DLC. That's why. Because you're afraid someone will do it better than you and they'll do it for free. That's what you're terrified of.
That's crazy. People don't learn from the most popular game in the world, Minecraft. Like, that game is a modding game.
Yeah, it
and
exists
people are
because
like,
of it.
nope, you can't do it. We're gotta respect our vision. But I mean, in this case, it seemed like it was one big comedy of errors, one just big screw
It
up.
really was, because it blew up on Reddit, and there's a lot of stuff that's
Right.
blown up on Reddit lately and got really, really popular fast. And then people
It turns
report
out
on
to
it.
not be true. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I mean, in this case, it kind of turned out to be true, but all of the evidence was really dodgy.
Well, they
until
said,
the
I think-
ESA flat out admitted it.
I think what they had said was that Techland was doing it, but it's actually the ESA. I mean, the ESA is a separate entity. I mean, the
Yes.
ESA is technically the video game lobbyist group that works for all the video game companies, but it's
Yeah,
not like I mean, they could be very well doing this sort of thing on their own. So I think Reddit blowing up and saying, "Oh my God, Techland is censoring modders," is like not entirely true.
Yeah, there was also some claims made that it was done as kind of an anti-cheat thing, because apparently they were afraid of... There was the mod going around that unlocked the dev console that also applied to multiplayer. The weird thing about that game is that you can turn multiplayer off. Like, it's co-op plus there's the Be the Zombie mode. There's no competitive mode in that game at all. So even if someone was cheating, you can kick them out of your game because you have full control over the lobby. So it's not even relevant, as far as I'm concerned, that a dev console was unlocked and it might have allowed cheating in the Be the Zombie mode, because the Be the Zombie mode isn't a competitive mode to begin with. So who fucking cares?
And honestly, it's the internet, so it doesn't matter what the truth is. The minute
Right.
it hits Reddit or it hits a forum and it's like, oh, they made this and they're ruining their own game and fuck modders, then that becomes the truth. And it doesn't matter at that point. And that's, it's unfortunate, but
It's scary.
Yeah.
Scary future. It's scary because I'm worried that this will happen more and more as more people like choose to browse Reddit over news sites and flock to sites like Reddit, where
Things get front page that just end up not being true,
Right, and then what happens is news sites will
pick
in order
up on
to
it.
keep up with Reddit, they just pick up on it without doing any original
I was
reporting
pretty
or
damn disgusted by the
validating.
number of news sites that actually fucking did that over this issue. Their only source was Reddit. I was like,
Yep.
the guy didn't even
Not-
post the notice. Like, you don't even have a copy of the
Worth
DMCA
noting,
takedown.
Kotaku did not cover this.
Yes, I know. Yes, la-di-da. You were too busy covering
Hey,
nacho
hey.
cheese. That's
Well,
why.
you know what?
Snack
At least
taku.
nacho cheese is true. Like, where
As far as we know,
least we're-
there are many
we're
things we
covering-
don't know about nacho cheese, according to Kotaku, or should I
That's
say,
true.
Ko
And hey, now
Taco.
You're learning
Go
true
Taco!
things.
Ah!
From Kotaku.com, you're learning true facts about nacho cheese, and
God
I think
damn
you
it.
should be more appreciative of that.
The man has the point. The man has the point.
He's literally
True
writing
facts.
articles about nacho cheese and dancing sharks
we
right
speak.
the fuck
As
now
we
on this
speak.
show.
It's funny. I mean, people, yourself included, give us a lot of flack for some of the fluffy stuff that we
Absolutely.
post,
And you deserve
and
it.
we do post fluffy stuff. I think an ideal gaming site has plenty of fluffy stuff. I don't think there's a problem with fluffy stuff, but
I like
do think
options
there's a
menus.
serious
That's how I
problem.
make my living.
Indeed.
I think there's a serious problem.
You are the
with,
wow crendor of games journalism. Non-content! He doesn't even get the
I
reference
think
because
there's
he's not a
a serious
YouTuber.
problem with inaccurate stuff.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree
Is
with
that
that.
an insult or compliment? Is that an
It's
insult or
kind of both.
compliment?
We have him on the show sometimes. We just don't kind of really want him here. I have to ask him.
That's
Oh,
not
man.
true. He's lovely.
Yes, we like wow crendor.
She said away from the microphone. as not to be on
Trying to
record.
distance herself from that opinion as much as possible.
He's great. Love
But yeah, no, I mean the inaccuracy thing really worries me about the future of journalism and reporting, and I hope
Well,
that,
it's racing, isn't it? It's like it's racing to get it out because like. I remember watching the newsroom and them being desperate. It's like, we need a second source. We need a second source. And these games news websites like, no, Reddit's fine. There's multiple posts on Reddit. That counts as two sources, right? No, it doesn't. You idiots. And then
And
the
that's something,
great
I
thing
mean-
is they can then post a follow-up article that corrects it and get double the ad
Right,
revenue.
and
Well
they
done.
don't. It's funny. Did you see?
Scumbags.
I actually just tweeted a thing that was the website Touch Arcade. They posted an article saying the world ends with you on iOS 8 is broken, but Square Enix won't fix it. And then today, the next
They
day,
posted one that said
they
it
posted
would.
an article saying
Yeah.
that the world ends
You know
with
where that
you
news
on
came
iOS
from?
8 is broken, and Square
Reddit.
Enix will fix it.
Yeah,
right,
that post was
exactly.
on Reddit under iOS Gaming. That's where they got that news from.
Yep. And I must say, I mean, I think Kotaku in the past had a reputation for doing this sort of rumor chasing and
Yep.
like poorly sourced articles, and that's something that we've worked very hard
To replace
over the
with
past few
nacho
years,
cheese
I think,
articles.
since to replace with nacho cheese. No,
And
but
watermelon
also
butts
to-
and
to-
articles about snacks, So
Look, you do nacho cheese.
Nothing
I'm
wrong
on
with
that
snacks.
bandwagon. I'm on that bandwagon.
actually, this
We
is about
gotta cover
ethics
our
and snack
snacks.
journalism. I don't know what
with
you're
you.
talking
I'm
about.
with
Hey,
you on that.
hey, gotta have ethics in all journalism, from
I agree.
video games to Jello pudding.
I need to know whether or not your opinion on Jello pudding is biased. Like, are you under the thumb of Big Pudding? It's important for me to
I
know
am.
this information.
I am.
Incidentally, if Big Pudding
No,
wants to sponsor our show, we're entirely fine
Yeah,
with
no,
that. I'll be under the thumb of Big
I'm
Pudding.
in.
Just give me the pudding.
we got sent. I think we got sent a package of red velvet Oreos the other day, and full disclosure, I had one. It was swag from Oreo.
Scumbag.
Full disclosure, ethical.
Full disclosure, send
man.
us Oreos, Oreo.
Sorry, readers.
I don't want Oreos. They suck. Oreos are
God,
terrible.
send me Oreos, Oreo.
No, they weren't. I mean, they just tasted like red velvet. Not so great.
Red velvet's disgusting. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, not my favorite.
Yes. So yeah, apparently Techland they've come out with a statement saying they're not anti-mod. They fucked up. They won't do it again. Let's see if that's
Right.
true. Here's a heartwarming story. We talked about the G2A thing last week, I believe. We talked about. Oh, was it the week before we went on the big grey market keys discussion?
Oh, it was last week.
Yeah, it was last week that we did that. That was our big topic last week. Well, as it turns out, Ubisoft had decided to honor the dodgy, fraudulent keys if you've already activated them. They came out and straight up said, yeah, we'll let you keep the game. if you haven't activated it, you're not getting to keep it. But if you've started playing it and you got it from a place like G2 Play or whatever, then you can keep it. Which, frankly, is very generous and probably the right PR move, although I'm a little bit worried about the message it's sending to people. It's like, oh, well, there's not really a risk that when you're buying from these dodgy sites then, because there's a PR incentive for these companies to honor the keys, so why the hell wouldn't you?
Well, I think it's one of those things where they're trying to negate what we were saying last week is like, could it possibly be Ubisoft behind? Like that kind of thing?
Oh, the price-fixing allegation? Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility.
And so then it goes back to those sites. It puts the pressure back on the sites. Like, do you really want to trust a third-party seller? Like,
yeah,
that
I think
kind
you're
of
right.
thing?
They did get a good opportunity to remind people only buy from these sources, you know? So it was good. They get good PR out of it, and they get to fire another shot at these guys, these gray market key sellers. And they also raise awareness. It's like, look, we're letting you get away with it this time because we're nice guys. You're not. We know that, but that's what we're saying. But these fuckers, they fucked you over. These are the guys that screwed you over.
Yeah.
So you want to keep an eye on them. So yeah, I think it's a smart move. Smart move. Yeah. Nicely done. We've also had Sony Online Entertainment has left Sony for they've been with them for like 17 years. They're now called Daybreak.
About time.
They were bought though, right?
Yeah, they were bought by an
Sony sold
investment
them.
group. Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I mean, finally we'll get to see like EverQuest and H1N1 and what is it? H1Z1?
H1Z1, yeah.
On,
H1N1's
Xbox.
bird flu. That's not as fun.
Right. I always confuse those two. Same thing. Now we'll finally see those games on Xbox, which is pretty cool. I mean, more competition is better for everyone.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, it was always this weird situation where they were like a PC developer that were also developing for PlayStation 3 and 4. So, I mean, seeing PlanetSide 2 go on multiple formats, I think is great. I've made this argument repeatedly that, yeah, it's a PC game, and obviously I'll always play PlanetSide 2 on PC. Why the fuck would I play it on a console? But if it's successful on console, that's more money that can also be invested in the PC version, because they're going to want to keep parity. So it should be encouraged, I think, to see these games on console. Plus, hey, if you're seeing good quality free-to-play games on console that don't suck, then that's a nice bit of competition in a space where they didn't really exist before, and hopefully it breeds more market innovation. That's the hope, anyway. So I don't see a problem with it. I think it's pretty cool. Let's see what they come up with. I imagine it'll mostly just be Xbox ports. I don't know how much. I don't know if it's going to help PC in any way. Probably not. Not directly, anyway. Oh, apparently H1N1 is swine flu. H5N1 is bird flu. Thank you, chat. Much appreciated.
Heine flu.
Of course.
Hey, I had swine flu. It fucking sucked.
Gotta get our flus
Pigs
right.
are 1, birds are 5, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah, swine flu sucks. You don't want it. Trust me. Had it been there, done that.
Oh man.
Ugh, horrible. I did get a week off work. That was pretty cool. Work did suck
Nice.
at that time.
Sick.
Yeah, I was all right.
Literally
yeah,
sick.
Very, very sick. Okay, is there any other news that people want to talk about before we kind of wrap the show up? Anything that was on the list or wasn't on the list that is worth?
I gotta shout out Joystick. Rest in peace.
Rest in
because,
peace.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
a lot of good folks.
WoW Insider,
A lot of good folks
all
lost
the
their
AOL
jobs,
ones
which is
that
sad.
yeah.
Yep, AOL really fucked them on that one, didn't they?
It's really, I mean, it's an example of like a big corporation not knowing how to adapt and evolve and run a site. And I bet the people who made the decisions to shut it down, like, probably didn't read it, probably know nothing about games or game
Are you
coverage.
saying
and
AOL didn't
it's
get
really
with the
sad
times?
that it's.
I'm shocked.
Did you know that most of their revenue, even today, comes from like AOL America Online, the software, and like sending those discs out to elderly folks all across the country?
Jesus Christ,
Yep.
really? That still works?
Yes. Yep. It's crazy to imagine, but it's like people are stuck in the 90s and AOL's businesses. I mean, yeah, it's really sad. It's really like a lot of good folks lost their jobs, and hopefully they bounce back and get back on their feet.
Yeah.
Also, big shout out to the folks over at Rooster Teeth. Rest in peace, Monty, who was taken way before his time. Really, really sad. Really, really tragic thing to happen. So, certainly hope that they're making their way through this. So, all our sympathies out for that. It really sucks. Wow, that was a depressing note to end on, wasn't it? I wonder if there's actually any other... There's not really any other news this week that's really worth covering, is there? Outside of Battlefield Hardline, obviously, doing its second beta. I have that
Well,
installed.
I gotta
I'm ready
say,
to play it.
I came in thinking, and I never got to. I came in thinking about Majora's Mask 3D, and I
You
wanted
never
to
talked about it. You
talk
missed
about.
the opportunity
No,
completely.
I missed the opportunity. Well, real quick. Let me say,
Okay.
this is the only Zelda game I haven't played. I'm playing it for the first time, and
Oh,
it
really?
is blowing my friggin' mind. It is like it's like made it to the top of my list of Zelda games. It's amazing.
Never been
is
in Zelda.
Majora's Mask.
Never liked it.
Strongly
It's
recommended.
the creepiest, weirdest Zelda game you will ever play.
It's
Hands down.
unsettling. It's great. It's like unsettling, and it has this tone, and it has so many smart ideas that other Zelda games never use. Like the idea that everyone is on this linear time path, and like that you have to use time as a dimension in a way that you would use exploring in another Zelda game, where if you have to get somewhere at the right time, it's really cool. And like having to plot out each cycle of 3 days, and the mask transforming. There's just so many cool things about the game. I strongly recommend it when it comes out next week.
Cool. Probably won't play it. I just can't. I can't deal with Zelda games. I've never found any one of them fun, so I don't know what's going on with me. I'm obviously just fucked in the
Really?
head.
Wow.
I'm just fucked in the head, obviously.
Yeah,
it's
wow.
part of the puzzles.
Not even Link to the Past.
No.
That's like the game, dude.
Nah.
That's like the
Really?
SNES game. A Link to the Past.
Wait,
never
which
a
Zelda
Nintendo
games have
kid.
you played?
I
Which
played
ones have you played?
Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, and
I love Ocarina of Time so
Wind
much.
Waker. Didn't like any.
And
The
you
most
didn't like any
recent
of it.
one,
Wow.
Link Between Worlds, was really fun too. I thought.
Yeah, that's.
It's the
awesome,
puzzling, I
awesome.
think, that does me in. I'm not really a fan of the puzzling, so that's unfortunate.
It's fair.
I tried.
guess it's
I
not
tried
for
to like
everyone.
him, but I do not.
It's heartbreaking.
Sorry. I apologize.
You just turned it from here we were talking about good news to end the show on,
And
You're
now
gonna
we've
say,
going to-
Majora's Mask,
Depressed.
and now you're just like, oh, I hate Zelda.
I don't
Until
like
this
Zelda.
day, I hate Zelda.
Yeah.
See ya.
Look,
Peace.
Yeah.
If
Zelda.
we want good news, let us appreciate that Chris Pratt is training velociraptors in the Jurassic World trailer, and that's the best thing in the freaking world.
Okay.
Thank you. That's how we're gonna end, with a man training velociraptors to ride with him on a motorcycle. Best news in the world. That's how we end.
The movie's probably going to be terrible.
It don't matter. He's training velociraptors to fight a bigger dinosaur with him on a motorcycle. Chris Pratt 2015.
All right, release list, Dodger, go.
Today, February 3rd, we have Criminal Girls Invite Only for Vita and PlayStation Network.
Well, what is that
Invite only.
exactly?
I don't know.
Criminal Girls Invite Only.
Criminal
That
Girls.
sounds like an
Whoa.
anime game.
This is a
Sounds
Dodger
like a
game,
good
I
game.
think.
It's
by the
definitely
looks
an
of it.
anime game.
Okay.
Is
It's
it?
like Honey Pop. I am
Apparently,
in.
you can
Oh.
motivate the girls with a whip.
Oh my god,
Sorry,
there are
what now?
butts
Oh my
everywhere.
goodness.
She's straight up touching her vajayjay.
It is a JRPG of
Why
sorts.
am I missing this? Why don't I see this? Crimson Girls.
Apparently, it has an uncomfortable plot.
That's my favorite kind of plot.
Right.
Shocks me.
Well, Dodger, you have your Vita, so you report on Criminal Girls for us next week. You got to do that. I'm
Alright,
very
I'm on it.
interested and don't want to be anywhere near it.
Why would I Google Criminal Girls Invite Only? The fourth picture is just a picture of two random women. It's not even the game.
Oh, goodness.
Oh man.
This
All
look.
right.
Oh, there's a special edition, of
Safe
course. There is.
search on.
Of course, no. Safe search off. You get
Safe
to see
search
the
off.
special edition of Criminal Girls. Jesus Christ, you're not kidding. It's literally just masturbating for no reason. What the hell is happening?
that's what I'm
Why?
telling you. It says very good over her butthole. Okay, next. Next game coming out today.
I fucking love Japan. I'm sorry. They bring us so many wonderful moments.
But she's a cat girl. She needs approval, though. Very good. Use this little pet her. Yeah, but you don't get it. You don't
Apparently,
get
I
cat
don't.
I don't get it.
I obviously do
Don't get
not.
it.
Okay.
Dodger
next.
gets it. She knows all about
Oh,
that.
she knows exactly what she's talking about.
Next
yeah.
game coming
Yes.
out today. Astray for PC.
Astray. Okay. What's that about?
I don't know.
Stray
Because you
game.
didn't Google it, did you? Yeah,
Somebody
we haven't.
back
We
it.
haven't. This is the section of the show where we very quickly Google things and pretend to know what we're talking about.
true.
I don't even. What?
It's barely coming up. What is it? It's a horror. It's a first-person puzzle horror. Well, there's a game I won't play. That's every genre I hate. Mostly, just add platformer in there, and then you'll have me. Yes, this. I don't know what this is really.
Oh, all right.
Next up today is Darkest Dungeon, which I told you about
Yes,
earlier. and
it's
super,
early
super fun.
access.
I'll
Warning:
play
it's
it.
early
It
access.
is early
Not done.
access
Not
on
done.
PC. You can get it
Yeah.
on Steam. Apotheon for
Yes,
PlayStation
I can tell you about
4
this one
PC.
because I played it at PAX like 2 fucking years ago. It is.
Yeah, that's the game that's been at every single PAX for like 5 years.
Yep, it's got a really nice art style that's done in the ancient Greek pottery style.
It's awesome. You
Yep,
can get
and
it on GOG today.
It is a side-scrolling action RPG platformer thingy that you can stab people with spears. It's pretty fun.
And it looks and moves just like you would be on like ancient Greek pottery. It's really cool.
It is really neat.
How does it compare to Hercules for Sega Genesis?
I'm going to assume it's probably better.
It looks like the parts when the women would sing. Like, from zero to hero, no time flat. It looks exactly like that. It's great.
Yes.
Thanks for that. Much appreciated. Next.
You're welcome.
Kick and Fennec for PlayStation Network.
Is a brand new puzzle platform adventure for PlayStation Vita about a little boy with a very big gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Risk
He should hang out with the
PlayStation
criminal
4.
girls.
Indeed he should. Very good. Next.
Risk for PlayStation 4.
Oh, I don't know what Risk is.
I know, right?
Oh, they
Risk,
made
what's that?
it look like it look futuristic Risk. So
Oh,
it's
they've
like
done that shit again.
A war table. Yeah.
Well, didn't
yeah.
they just do that with Risk Factions? They had you could play cats and you could attack the cat. The nation of cats could attack the
That
nation of
sounds
other.
awesome.
Yeah,
What?
Risk Factions. You never played it? There's a nation.
No.
There's a nation of robots. There's a nation of cats. And they all have different battle animations. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I just played the Game of Thrones board game, which is kind of like Risk, and there should be a video game version of that.
That game is supposed to be brilliant.
This faction is
it's
literally
fun.
called Cats.
It's really fun.
Yeah, it's called Cats. I'm not kidding. Game of Thrones with cats. It's got to be done.
The leader's name is Generalissimo Meow.
Indeed. It
Should have been
is.
Chairman Meow, but whatever. That's
He
fine.
should have been Chairman Meow.
Yeah, I think they
Okay.
just wanted to
Much
avoid the
funnier
controversy.
names.
Next
up, SpongeBob Hero Pants for PlayStation Network Vita. and
Surprisingly
Vita.
enough, most SpongeBob
Wow.
games are actually pretty good. That's the shocking thing about them is they're all fairly highly rated. Who knew?
Oh, SpongeBob
knew?
game.
Yep.
Next up is King Oddball for PlayStation 3.
This
Okay.
game looks so stupid.
What is it?
You're a giant moon king man with a tongue that picks crap up.
Okay.
Oh.
It's Katamari. Is it the Katamari
I was gonna
dinosaur?
It's a
say-
side scroller by the looks of it. It was on Android previously. It's called King Oddball
looks-
Ends the World.
It looks like
interesting.
Angry Birds, kind of, but you're a giant moon that with a tongue that picks up rocks and throws it at dudes.
Well, video games sure
Story of
have
my
advanced,
life.
have they not?
Yeah.
Okay,
God,
next.
We are in a whole new world. Real Fishing Masters Challenge for PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, that's my jam.
Next.
Yeah, squirrel. And then tomorrow, February 4th, we have Grow Home for PC.
That was the Ubisoft thing that just came out of nowhere. You play as
Yeah,
Bud,
they
a
just
botanical
announced
utility
it
droid.
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, guess what it involves? Climbing!
Wow.
Oh, dear.
I looked
do
it up,
like,
but all I got
credit,
was pot.
Credit to Ubisoft for like taking these chances on these tiny games like Child of Light and Grow Home and Valiant Hearts. I mean,
Yeah.
for all the flack they get, and they get a lot of flack deservedly.
Yeah.
They do tend to make these like interesting artsy games that other publishers might not try.
Here's an idea. Stop making AAA games for 2 years and release nothing but stuff like this, and then see how well your
Right.
reputation recovers.
Oh, the next
That would
game-
be
oh!
fascinating.
Yes.
Nothing, go for it.
Go on.
I've played the next game.
The next game is
I'll play this
called
too.
Rise of Incarnates for PC.
Holy crap. Guys, if you liked Metal Gear Rising, jump on this. Jump on this.
I played a bit of it.
your-
It's not quite that good.
You're playing, like, it's a versus kind of thing, but it's in that weird sort of over-the-top space. So it's not,
Kinda,
it's not nearly as good as Metal Gear Rising. But if you like that sort
multiplayer.
of aesthetic, that feel, try it. I played it and was like, what?
I played a bit of it. I
Now-
wasn't hugely impressed, but I'll play it again now that it's kind of out of beta.
Next up is a game called To Be or Not to Be for PC.
I can't find any info on this thing. Like, I got nothing. The only thing I can find is the Steam page. Guide Hamlet, Ophelia, and Hamlet Sr. to hundreds of hilarious deaths in Ryan North's choosable path edition of Shakespeare's Hamlet. I'm in on this shit. This sounds incredible.
What? That sounds amazing.
Video games are so fucking weird.
Play as 3 different characters, each with their own unique adventures. Hamlet, Ophelia, or Hamlet's dad, King Hamlet. Spoiler alert, you get ghost powers, then must investigate your own murder. This is fantastic. Travel through time, fight pirates, kill a guy in a church. It's totally okay. He's a jerk. View the Hamlometer at the end of each story to see how well you stuck to the bard's vision.
Oh, this is one of those. This is another one of those. There's been a recent series. It looks like it because I can't find any actual game footage. It
This looks
appears
amazing.
to be a text like one of those text game things.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
all-
It's a choose your own adventure, very much so.
right.
It's time for the
that sounds awesome.
Hamlometer. I love it.
I have to check this out.
I'm all over this shit. This looks incredible.
That sounds
This is on my
cool.
list.
Yeah.
It comes out in a day and 3 hours. All right, next.
Cool.
February 5th, we've got Cities XXL for PC.
Heard some good things
Oh
about
my
this shit.
God.
So the City series has been pretty bad, but so has
Yeah,
SimCity.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, but apparently Cities XXL will totally fix everything, guys, honest. So maybe it might.
Is that a response to SimCity's tiny cities?
I think so.
Like, oh,
I
here
think-
we got XXL.
Yeah, it's developed
They're
by
not
Monte
tiny.
Cristo and Focus Home Interactive, which is not exactly the best company ever. But they might make it happen this time. We'll see. Maybe.
Fractured Soul for PC.
Isn't that a shoot
Yeah,
up?
that was on 3DS. That was
Yeah.
it was kind of, I think
2D
it's like
platformer.
it uses multiple dimensions. That's an interesting looking game. I haven't played it, but it looks interesting.
I'm disappointed it's not based off of the Jessica Sorensen erotic novel Fractured Souls. That is the first thing that came up when I googled it.
What? Next.
Jessica, I'm just disappointed.
Castle in the Darkness for PC.
Okay. I don't know
Castle
much
in the
about that one.
Darkness?
Castle in the Darkness. It is an action exploration platformer with some RPG elements. So in other words, like every other game on Steam right now. But it is only $6, and there's a big blue knight in it, and it looks like it was made on 3DS. And I think it's actually it's Asian developed by the looks of it, possibly Japanese. There's a frog with a sword.
The,
Chrono
man,
Trigger.
the pieces of this game
afraid
look
not.
exactly like Simon's Quest. Castlevania.
They do actually, yeah.
It looks
is
like
very
straight
Castlevania-esque.
up Castlevania game.
It does, but it's kind of got a little chibi character, kind of Game Boy level character. Okay.
Weird. Okay. Moon Chronicles, episode 2, 3, and 4 for 3DS.
Can't tell you much about those.
Me neither.
Don't know much about Moon Chronicles.
It's made by Way Forward, I think, who make a lot of interesting games for 3DS and Wii U.
Oh, hang on a minute. This isn't Moon, though. I mean, this is not the same thing as Moon. Yeah, it is. It's a 3D
is, yeah.
Yeah, Moon's great. So they've kind of made it an episodic game? That's a bit weird. Yeah, Moon was cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Interesting. Yeah, but apparently it's not that well rated. But we'll see.
I did
Okay.
just play a game by them called Zeo Drifter, which is pretty interesting. It's like a Metroidvania 3DS game.
Okay,
It's pretty cool.
fair enough. Yeah, Renegade Kid have released some interesting stuff. Next.
On
Oh, did I say-
February 6th, we've got Ubinota for PC.
Ubinota.
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 The
In
hell
a
kind of a name is
world.
that?
Where inhabitants live in the sky on floating islands made of cubes, which seems impractical. A disaster threatens to make the population fall into the depths. The magic paint that keeps the cubes stuck together is drying out. Lucian, a trainee painter, fights with others against the disaster by repainting the islands. It's a 3D puzzle game, essentially.
Perfect. Next up is Pixel Heroes Bite and Magic for PC.
I refuse to acknowledge that pun.
Then moving on. And lastly, on February
This
9th,
is your
we've got...
fault, Bite and Magic. You did this.
You did this to yourself. On February 9th, we've got Alice's Mom's Rescue
Are you
for
fucking kidding me?
DC. What does DC mean?
DC? What the fuck is
I feel like
DC?
that must have meant PC.
Yeah.
No, for
Yeah, I just
Dreamcast?
confused.
Or
Going
for
back,
Dreamcast.
going back
No,
a few seconds.
it literally
I said Way
says
Forward, and I
Dreamcast
meant
on this.
Oh, it's actually for Dreamcast. No, they're not
What?
kidding. This is a
says
game
for
for
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast. Uh-huh.
Coming 2015 for Dreamcast.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep, that was not a
What?
typo. It's actually a Dreamcast game. Alice's Mom's Rescue is coming for
Alice's
Sega
Mom's
Dreamcast. It is a 2D platformer for Dreamcast, region free with 25 stages.
What?
Well,
It's-
that is
it
quite the
really
thing.
There's an Android app of it? It's an Android app. It's
It's
a
on
game.
Android as well, but it's also coming to Dreamcast.
That's super weird. Okay.
Gotta tap into that lucrative Dreamcast market.
That was a
your
thing that
Dreamcast.
happened, wasn't it? Wasn't there that RPG that also released for the Genesis quite
Yeah.
recently?
Yes.
Also, apparently,
Pure,
Sunless Sea
Pure
is coming
Solar.
out of early access on the 6th. So that's worth looking at. I've heard that's pretty legit. Cool. And then,
But yeah, that's it.
yeah,
Until
pretty
next
much,
Tuesday.
next
end.
Tuesday's Evolve, basically. So we'll see how that turns out. No idea what's going on with that. All right, that pretty much wraps up the show, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Before we go, we would love you to go and look at our stuff. So, why don't we start with Jason? One, where do you go to find the best snack coverage? And secondly, what do you plan on doing for the next week or so?
Hey, snack coverage, www.kotaku.com.
Snacktaku.com.
We actually, I mean, we have an option if you're just interested in video game news, kotaku.com/kotakucore. And
Oh, was that the place where I found
it's
the
funny,
$3,000
John, the other day we were
crystal-imbued PS4?
That
one of
was,
those over
that was a
Kotaku?
mistake. We took it off there. That was a
Okay,
mistake. We
all
took it off
right,
there.
sure.
Kotaku Core. You could come
Where do
if
I
you just
find
want to follow
that?
my work. If you just want to follow my work and my stupid tweets,
Yeah,
you
'cause
can find me
the
on
rest of
Twitter
shit.
at Jason Schreier. The rest is yeah, garbage. I will.
Who's getting
I
fired?
only occasionally tweet about snacks.
Bet you do.
No, everybody at Kotaku is wonderful. Kotaku.com. And let's see, what am I doing over the next week? Playing games, working on stories. I'm trying to think if there's anything I can talk about. I'm doing a cool story that I'm working on about Kaizo Mario, which is this ROM
Super
hack of
hard
Mario that
ROM
I'm
hack,
sure
yeah.
you guys must be familiar with that. It's
We're on YouTube,
super
we know.
hard, impossible.
Yep.
Yeah. That they call Asshole Mario, and I've been talking to a bunch of people and trying to get in touch with a developer in Japan, but it's been difficult. And that should be a cool story. Other stories I'm working on I can't talk about.
Of course.
So yeah, that's me.
All
About
right.
you guys.
Cool. Jesse, what's coming up on the show this week?
Sorry, I was looking at that crystal PS4. Look. It
It's
is
cool.
Fabulous.
It's cool,
That is
right?
that is a fabulous thing I would have in a minute.
It's
Over
too
my
bad
channel-
you can't eat it, or
Look.
else it would be the perfect Kotaku buzz.
Absolutely.
If-
It's a perfect
If you
storm.
made a nacho, if you
cover it in nacho
PS4,
cheese,
Yes.
buy the
I'm in.
PS4, cover it in nacho cheese, profit. Done.
No, you have a little tray, and the heat from the PS4 heats up the nacho cheese. Why am I the one thinking of this stuff? What is going on?
Man.
Anyway, if you want great insight like that, but over game footage, tune into my
Over
channel.
footage of picking herbs in the hinterlands for the 15th hour.
I finally left Haven this week. Episode
Well
31,
done.
Finally left Haven.
That series is never going to fucking end.
So that's the thing. Oh, it'll go on forever. So yeah, come join the fun and watch that and a bunch of other stuff on my channel. And yeah, if you want to see Krendor and I completely sell out and play Hardline, which nothing like cops going crazy in a city to make you feel good about a game. Tune in. It'll be great, guys. So that and more this week. YouTube.com/Jesse Cox.
Dodger, what anime bullshit will you bring us this week?
Well, I obviously have to play Criminal Girls because
Apparently so.
Jeez. Yeah. Lots of non-anime stuff, some anime stuff though. Krender and I are both not quite as sick anymore, so we were able to record more Realistair. So
okay.
more of that will be going up, and we cheat
dating
to touch
sims.
the butt because we
Okay.
couldn't touch the butt without cheating.
I see.
And I'm also playing Life is Strange. I don't know how many of you heard, but yesterday was a really bad day to try to upload anything. So,
Yes, it was all over the place.
Yeah,
Everything
so
broke.
nothing went up yesterday, but new episode of Life is Strange goes up today.
Well, it shouldn't be too
later
long a
today,
series.
and-
The game only runs about 2 hours, I think, for the first
Yeah, it's
episode.
2.5 hours
there's
long.
there's like one more episode after this, but anyways, and yeah, just got some stream stuff going up. I stream on
Any
twitch.tv/dexterity
Dorcas
bonus.
dungeon going on? Any
Oh,
dungeon?
I mean, I don't know if it suits. If it suits
All
my
your streams are
channel.
nothing but you swearing at video games, so I think that it would suit you just fine.
Super salty.
That
Yeah.
is the saltiest stream. I go in there like in the morning just to feel better about my life. It's great. She's just like, I tune in, she's like, fuck this game. I'm like, yep, it's the morning.
Salty.
Yeah, you've been showing up in my Saturday morning streams
Mostly
quite
just to
often
annoy
to just
you.
show up and be like, All right, what sort of bullshit's going on in here? Well, I gotta go.
Pretty much, that's what I do. I visit streams and then just leave. It's great. I cause trouble in the chat and then just go away.
It's perfect. But yeah, if you'd like to subscribe to me, that would be fantastic. And on all the social medias, I'm at DexBonus, DEXBONUS.
Cool.
Love you all. Thanks for watching.
Yes. Stuff will come this week. My tongue is mostly healed now that I have stuff to help. So I've had a problem the last few days of not being able to talk properly, which was fun. So I'm gonna have to make up for that. And I don't know if I probably won't have any content out tomorrow because of this show taking up most of the day. But I'll see what I can come up with. I am looking to finish the Dying Light video. I did the port report, which people seem to like for some inexplicable reason. And I'll continue to rub that in the face of traditional media till the end of time, that I can get people to watch me talk about options menus for 25 minutes and they can't. But outside of that, we'll definitely do the critique of Dying Light.
Yes, but can you get nacho cheese?
If I did nacho cheese, I would beat the shit out of your views. Don't even start with me, Jason. Don't throw down in my house.
Wait, hold on.
You haven't seen our pizza videos.
This is not.
You have
this
no.
is not a dick wave.
Nope.
Competition.
Jason, look, I'm gonna tell you something right now. You haven't seen the video of
$65
TV
cake.
He ate. He went to like some. When he came to visit, he got like some Twinkie thing.
A Twinkie, a chocolate covered Twinkie.
That video,
650,000 views for me eating a Twinkie.
Hold on. So
Watch
you
yourself.
have a video of you eating a Twinkie, and you are making fun of Kotaku.
Here's the thing.
Here's
the thing. I have a channel, an entire channel dedicated to bullshit. I keep the bullshit off my main channel.
Oh. So
my bullshit channel is called Jenna Bain. It's named after my wife.
You still post other. Okay, so we keep the bullshit off of Kotaku Core. But
of course, Kotaku's
Core. Does that not count in your?
I'm gonna go there tomorrow. There's gonna be articles about Doritos. I'm gonna find it.
Set the record.
There's nothing that can happen now.
Total.
I'm sorry, you seem to be breaking up. What a shame. I can't hear what you're saying. That's
and
tragic.
He has the stones. Wow.
I love it. So outside of that, I don't know. There'll be content of some description. I'm sure.
Next time you tweet about watermelon butts, I'm gonna have to find that Twinkie video.
Oh, you do that, and you will be forever jelly. That video is well monetized. Oh dear. Yeah. Outside of that, yeah, that's pretty much about it. I think there'll be some content over the next few days that I can pretty much guarantee. I'm sure. Jesse gets off the floor. Well done. Yeah, but big thanks to everyone who tuned into the show today, of course. Absolutely fantastic. Before I go, there's something we have to play. So someone made a tribute song.
Yes.
We've got to go out on it. It's the co-optional tribute song, which apparently now exists. I don't know why it exists. I'm not going to deny that it exists, but it is there, and we're going to inflict it upon you. So, big thanks to Espanto Music for creating the co-optional podcast tribute. That's what you're going to be hearing as we go out. Big thanks to our guest, Jason Schreier of Kotaku, and of course, Jesse Cox and Dodger, as always, for a great show. If you missed anything, then if you're a subscriber, the VOD is up right now on Twitch. If you're not a subscriber, well, you can wait till Thursday, and you'll be able to catch the VOD over on youtube.com/cynicalbrit, or get it on my SoundCloud or the iTunes feed. Just a reminder, by the way, because people keep saying, why is the iTunes feed not working? That's the old one. We changed it months ago. Look for the hat, not the Polaris signal. Look for the hat on iTunes. You will find the new iTunes feed. We update on time. We don't suck. Simple as that. The Co-optional Podcast Tribute by Espanto Music will be our outro. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and good night.